Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary small town in a northern province of Chiang Mai, situated on the banks of a river. It made a convenient stopover for river traders and passengers throughout most of the year. A few barges, rafts, and sometimes even a large sailboat could usually be found moored at Fang. But all that was long ago, before the creation of the Trial of Champions. Now, once a year, the river is crowned with boats as people arrive from hundreds of miles around, hoping to witness the breaking of an ancient tradition and see a victor in the Trial of Champions.
Right, I'll just go through a summary.
Yeah.
So basically there are 6 people chosen to run the Trial of Champions. If you get through it, you get, I think it's 10,000 gold and freedom to the city from the Lord Succumvit, I believe his name is.
Sweet.
Yeah, a little bit about that here.
Deep in the hillside, behind the town, lies a challenge created by a powerful baron of Fang called Succumvit, a labyrinth filled with deadly tricks, traps, and loathsome monsters from which there is only one exit. Each year, warriors and heroes come to Fang to face the Trial of Champions. Survival is unlikely, yet many take the risk. The prize is great, a purse of 10,000 gold pieces and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever. This year, you will attempt what has become known as the Walk, attracted to it for the simple fact that nobody has ever yet emerged victorious. In the morning, you see Baron Succumvit himself, with 5 others standing proudly in line, the violet scarves displayed for all to see. There are 2 bare-chested barbarians dressed in furs, a sleek elven woman with golden hair and feline green eyes, a man covered head to foot in iron-plated armor, with a plumed helmet and a crested shield, and another cloaked in black robes with only his dark eyes showing between the swaths of his black face scarves. A hush falls over the crowd as Baron Succumvit steps forward holding 6 bamboo sticks. You draw one from his outstretched hand and read the word.
Let's get this. Basically, you go in
The
5th,
knight
so there's
enters first.
4 that go
He
in ahead of you
salutes
and
the
there's one
crowd.
behind you.
Next,
Right.
it's your turn. But before embarking on your adventure, we must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses.
Oh no.
You have in your possession a sword, a shield, and a backpack for carrying provisions for the trip. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay and exercising vigorously. To see how effective your preparations have been, dice will be rolled to determine your skill, stamina, and luck scores. Or, if you wish to begin your adventure immediately, you can choose between 3 ready-made adventurers.
Alright, so I haven't really tried the ready-made adventurers, but for when I tried this, I just tried to max out my skills, stamina, and luck. But because I kind of want you to fail more, say, so I'll give you a
ready-made.
maximum of 6 rerolls between all 3.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
You want to roll for?
Yeah, let's roll.
First, we'll roll
Your
for your
angle
initial level of
change.
skill.
Yeah, it does that
This
a lot. Don't
reflects
worry.
your
Don't worry.
sword skill and fighting expertise, and will be determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6.
Are we going to be lucky? Do you want to stay on 9, or would you like to use a reroll?
So I've got 6 in total, yeah?
6 in total, yeah.
Reroll. No, fuck, reroll that.
Okay, there's 2 rerolls gone. Okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good with
Bang
that.
it. Bang it, yeah.
Okay.
Next, will roll for your initial stamina, which represents your strength.
Nope.
So the higher your stamina score, the longer you will survive. This will be determined by rolling 2 dice and adding 12.
Okay.
09. That's not too bad, you know.
Ooh. Well, it's more than average. I'll keep that.
Okay. So we've got, what did I say, 4 rerolls left on luck, so 4 ones in a row. Here we go.
Next, we'll roll for your initial luck, which represents how lucky an adventurer you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy world you're about to explore. This is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6.
You like that, mate? Reroll that.
He does that a lot. Okay, so 3 rerolls left. Well, you got 5.
You know what? We'll go with it. We'll send it.
Yeah, pretty decent stars.
You may also take a magical potion with you
Oh,
to
really?
aid you on your quest.
Ooh.
Each bottle of potion contains 2 measures, so can be used twice during an adventure. You can choose from a
Why
potion
is he so
skill
red in the face?
that restores your skill points to their initial amount,
Probably because he's
A
been
potion of
speaking for
strength
ages in this
that
chair.
restores your stamina
There's a lot
points
of
to their initial
him
amount,
prattling on, so...
or a potion of fortune that not only restores your luck points to their initial amount,
Looks like he's been older
but
than
will
a
also
shit for an
increase your
hour.
initial luck
Yeah.
score by 1 each time it's used.
But yeah, skill will replace this top skill, strength will replace health, but you do get provisions which help your health as well, and fortune is your luck, but your luck will increase by 1 each time you use it.
Go skill.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I'm a
Lastly,
skillful.
before you begin your quest,
Oh, for God's sake.
you are given enough provisions for 10 meals. When you eat a meal, your stamina score will increase by 4 points. But don't forget, your stamina can never exceed the initial amounts you've just set. You have a long way to go, so use your provisions wisely.
Very long way.
During your
Right,
adventure,
so this is going over the battle
You'll
system
enter
which I
into
mentioned to you
combat
earlier, which is
a number
of
the new
times.
version, so 3
and the
turns.
further you go,
We'll just skip this. So
you are playing.
the new battle
Use-
system, that's fine. So, mentioning for chat as well, so each battle will be 3 turns unless it specifies, because there are some different fights later on. You will win after the end of the 3rd fight, but you can still take damage in between the 3 fights if you lose on the skill rolls. So, your skill's 11 right now, an enemy might have a skill level of 6, say. You both roll 2 dice, and then is added to your skill.
Alright, okay.
So at 11's pretty much the best you can get at this point. So that's good. So
Yeah, let's
please
do
in the
it.
battle system.
Let's see
Now
how many
it is your
times I
turn
die.
to salute the crowd. Holding your violet scarf aloft, you take one final deep breath
Well, I want a
of cool,
pink
fresh
scarf.
air before turning to pass between the stone-pillared gateway into Succumvit's corridors of power to face unknown perils on the walk through the mighty Baron's Deathtrap dungeon.
Do we get an intro?
This might be
Oh,
a
we
bit
do.
Yeah, I'm just going to type in chat, so it's probably easier than
Yeah.
muting half the time.
The clamour of the excited spectators gradually fades behind you as you venture deep into the gloom of the cavern. Large crystals hang from the tunnel roof at 20-meter intervals, radiating just enough soft light for you to see your way. As your eyes gradually become accustomed to the near darkness, you begin to see movement all around. Spiders and beetles crawling up and down the chiseled walls disappear quickly into cracks and crevices as they sense your approach. Rats and mice scurry along the floor ahead of you. Droplets of water drip into small pools with an eerie plopping sound,
I will mention
which
when
echoes
the
down the tunnel.
insta-kills start kicking in. So
the air is cold.
this
moist,
first part is
and
kind
damp.
of just
After walking slowly along the tunnel for about
like,
5 minutes,
so you'll see,
you arrive at a stone table standing against the wall to your left.
Point.
On it, there are 6 boxes, one of which has your name painted on its lid.
Ooh.
Do we open the box with your name on it?
Oh, 100%.
Are you sure about that? Should I don't just lie about the insta-kill?
Oh, no, I don't care. If D&D's taught me
the
anything,
lid of the
open
box lifts off easily, and inside you find 2 gold pieces and a note written on a small piece of parchment addressed to you. After placing the gold in your pocket, you read the message, which says, "Well done. At least you had the sense to stop and take advantage of the token aid given to you. Now I can advise you that you will need to find and use several items if you hope to pass triumphantly through my Deathtrap dungeon. Signed, Succumvit." Memorizing the advice on the note,
but he doesn't tell you
what
you
tear it
need
into
exactly.
tiny pieces and continue north along the tunnel, where you come to a junction.
I need items.
A white arrow painted on one wall points west. On the floor, you can see wet footprints made by those who entered before you. It's hard to be sure, but it looks as though 3 of them followed the direction of the arrow, while one decided to go east.
Yeah, that confused me the first time, but then I realised I was 5th in and not last in.
Oh,
I was like, where's the 5th set of footprints? And I was like, oh yeah, there's still one guy behind me.
Ooh.
Oh, this is where the first... Do we follow the majority? Or the minority?
We'll go with the majority.
West. Yeah.
Following the 3 sets of wet footprints along the west passage of the tunnel, you soon arrive at a junction.
So another choice, you either follow, again, the majority of the 2 sets, or north.
Go... You know what? We'll go north. We'll be different this time.
Ahead, you hear the thud of heavy footsteps approaching. Out of the gloom steps a large, primitive caveman, dressed in animal hide and carrying a stone club. On seeing you, he grunts and spits on the floor, then raises his club and lumbers on towards you, looking anything but friendly.
So yeah, this is...
Attack.
Yeah, this one does take a bit of
enemy
time. So
is
you're the
strong,
white dice
but
and
slow,
the enemy's red dice.
and screams in
from that.
pain as your sword sinks into his
You'll see the
leg.
calculations done there.
Yeah.
So I
Attack.
assume, yeah.
You dodge to the side as the caveman swings his
So
club
here it shows the
and
3
kick out,
bits, and
knocking him
you shouldn't
to the
really be
floor.
eating provisions unless your score goes down. So we'll just run through this first fight.
But
You
shank
run
him.
around the lumbering
Oh.
There you
caveman,
go.
crushing
What
your
happened to the
sword
timer?
into his
I
arm.
just
Pleased
chopped
with
it
your
on, so
victory,
there was no need to eat
you
provisions.
notice
in
that
it.
the dead caveman is wearing a leather wristband with 4 small rat skulls hanging from it.
Killed my brothers. Oh, put it on.
Put it
New
on.
gear. Yeah, new gear. Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
The wristband was made and cursed by a cat. It slows down your reactions and dulls your senses, reducing your skill by 4 points. You kick the tunnel wall in anger and stomp off north.
Oh boy.
After a few more steps,
Oh, it's fine.
you see a backpack propped up against the tunnel wall. You wonder if it belongs to one of your rivals.
We're just going to continue.
Then you. Yeah.
You arrive at a junction in the tunnel. A new branch leads west, but the wet footprints you have been following
So this is the catch-up
continue
bit.
north.
This is where all three
You decide to keep
events
following
sort of-
the footprints.
go into the first sort of major bit.
You soon come to another junction in the tunnel. One branch leads east,
Yeah, and again.
but the wet footprints you...
On.
The passage opens out into a wide cavern which is darker but much drier. Ahead, you see the footprints gradually fade, then disappear. There is a large idol in the center of the cavern that must be 6
Who's
meters
that
high.
beautiful boy?
In its head are jeweled eyes, each as
I do
big
like
as
the
your
runs in this
fist.
game that they have from the pages.
On either side of the idol stand 2 giant stuffed, bird-like creatures.
I'm not touching that. Nah. Carry on.
Okay, I will also say at this point that insta-kills can happen from now.
Okay. Right, yeah, I'm not touching that.
So we're walking through.
Yep.
Yep.
Not much farther down the tunnel, you come to a closed door on your left. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently but hear nothing.
Do we want to see what's inside, or do we want to keep walking north?
Open the door.
You enter a room which is small and completely
And
empty.
this is going to be dead, yeah?
As soon as you are inside, the door slams shut behind
Yeah.
you. Suddenly a voice booms out of nowhere, shouting, "Welcome to Deathtrap Dungeon, the ingenious killer labyrinth of my master. Adventurer, I trust you will pay your respects to my master by shouting out his name."
Oh, do we want to be nice, or do we want to be bad?
We'll be nice.
Yeah.
You take a deep breath and shout, "Hail Succumvit!" Once again, the mysterious voice calls out. Only this time its tone is full of contempt and derision. "So,
What does derision mean?
we have a sniveling weed in our midst, do we?" sneers the voice. "My master has a special gift for you, loathsome creep." Suddenly, water starts pouring into the room
Are we
through a
dead?
hole in the ceiling. It soon rises above your ankles, and there is no apparent way of escape. You wade back to the door. It is firmly locked, but in desperation you try ramming it with your shoulder. We'll see how skillful you really are. Remember, a roll equal to or less than your skill score means you have been skillful.
Oh,
But a
we're
roll
hoping you
higher
roll
than
low
your
here.
skill could end badly. The door cannot withstand the furious battering you are giving it. The center panel cracks and splinters, enabling you to kick a hole
Easy.
in it large enough for you to squeeze through. Soaked, but happy to have survived your ordeal, you set off north again. The tunnel twists and turns, but keeps steadily north. Ahead, you see a thin shaft of blue light streaming down from the ceiling to the floor. It sparkles and shimmers, and you can see images of laughing faces in the light.
Do we want to pass through the light, or would you like to walk around the light?
Well, walk around.
Yeah.
You come to an arched doorway set in the right-hand wall of the tunnel. The heavy stone door is closed, but there is an iron latch and a round handle.
Like to try this door?
Let's just carry on.
Okay.
The tunnel ends shortly at a junction. Looking left and right, you see a narrow passage disappearing into the dim distance.
Is there a map or anything?
Yeah. So this is what we've done. So this is your starting position.
Yep.
So you went west, then north. That would have been... Caveman would have been about here. The
Yeah.
backpack would have been here. Idol would have been here. First room that's now filled with water there. Second room that
Okay.
you skipped by.
We'll go west.
West. Yeah.
Ahead, you hear the sound of rocks being ground and crushed. The noise grows louder, and suddenly you realize that the wall on your right is starting to collapse. Terrified, you watch as a large, hideous, worm-like creature with a gaping mouth and powerful mandibles
Can I drink a potion?
slivers through a hole in the wall. Its great jaws continue
you
to
want to,
crunch the
Yeah.
rock as it turns its head slowly from side to
couple of
side, feeling the cool air in the tunnel. It appears to be totally blind, but seems to know of your presence, perhaps sensing the heat of your body. It starts to slither towards you with its mandibles wide apart to attack.
Dun dun dun. Right.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
run
we're
back down the
fighting.
tunnel.
We're fighting.
You draw your sword and advance slowly towards the huge, slimy rock grub.
I assume just attack as your
The rock grub is strong,
draw, but you've got the better
slow.
skill.
You swing
draw
your
just
sword,
counts
which
as a
smashes
nothing
into
happens,
its
basically.
pulsating
Right.
body.
Go on.
Attack again.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage
Oh my
the creature.
god.
Oh, lucky you drank the attack
Attack.
again.
Picking up a rock,
Oh
you
my
manage
God.
to smash it into the head of the rock grub.
If you hadn't drank your
It
potion, that would have
screeches
been
in
two
pain,
draws and a
withdrawing
loss.
enough for you
Yeah.
to ready for another attack.
I'll also say if
Pleased
you try to
with
escape,
your combat
you do get
skills,
hit. A
You
guaranteed.
step round the great bulk of the dead rock grub and peer into the darkness of the borehole it left. You can only see a few meters, but are able to make out that it inclines slightly and is wet from the secreted slime of the rock grub.
So would you like to explore where the grub came
Oh,
from, or would you
no.
like to...
I've played enough RPGs to know that's not a good idea. Carry on walking along the tunnel.
Along the tunnel? Okay.
After a
That's how
long
you get
walk
to the
down the
big bad.
tunnel, you come to a dead end. A large mirror reaching from the ceiling to the floor hangs on the end wall. And in the dim light, you can just about make out your own reflection.
Would you like to go in for a closer look to the mirror, or would you like to head back east?
I'll head back.
Head back east. Yeah. fair
Yeah.
enough.
Passing the rock grub's borehole on your left, you soon arrive at the junction. You take a quick look down the tunnel leading south, but do not see anybody approaching. Quickening your step, you hurry on, east. You walk down the passage and soon find yourself standing at the edge of a deep, dark pit. The passage continues east on the other side of the pit. You think you could probably jump over the pit, but you're not sure. There is a rope hanging down from the ceiling over the center of the pit.
Sometimes the options can take a wee extra second if there's like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, we could try and throw your shield and jump after it. You could jump over with everything. Or you could reach for the rope and Indiana Jones it.
Well, the Indiana Jones one's completely out of it because that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Throw my shield over and jump after it.
Okay.
Just as you're about to release the shield and throw it over the pit, it slips from your fingers and rolls
Oh,
away.
for fuck's sake.
You are unable to catch it before it falls over the edge of the pit, clattering down its sides to the bottom. The loss of your shield reduces your fighting ability, decreasing your skill points by 1.
No, that's fine.
Cursing your
That's
own
fine.
clumsiness, you step forward, leap across the pit, and land safely on the other side. You waste no time, but head off, east. The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north, as far as you can see. You soon arrive at a closed wooden door in the left-hand wall.
To check the
No.
map for a second, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
where he jumped over. Surprised there wasn't like an event there as well. So we're at another door. Would you like to open
what?
the door or?
We can't go 2 for 2 on bad doors. Let's open the door.
Door, okay.
The door opens into a large candlelit room filled with incredibly lifelike statues of knights and warriors. A white-haired old man, dressed in tattered rags, jumps out from behind one of the statues and starts
Almost
to
guy.
giggle. Though he looks like a fool, the sparkle in his eyes makes you think there is more to him. In a high-pitched voice, he says, "Oh, good! Another stone for my garden. I'm glad you have come to join your friends. Now, I'm a fair man, so I'll ask you a question. If you answer correctly, I'll let you go free. But if your answer is wrong, I'll turn you to stone." He starts to chuckle again, obviously pleased with your arrival.
Oh, would you like to wait for the question? Try to attack him or try to run?
I hope I get an option for next one if I wait for his question to attack him. I'll wait for his question.
Yeah.
The old man points at one of the statues, and you
And
recognize it
camera two.
immediately. It is the knight who started the trial of champions. The agonized look on his face locked in stone for eternity. The old man smiles, saying, "This man weighs 100 pounds plus half his weight. How much does he weigh?" What will you answer?
Yes. What will you answer? Will you answer 100, 150, or 200?
What was it? This man weighs 100 pounds and half his weight.
Yes.
The obvious one was 150, but I don't think it is.
What would you like to answer with?
You know what? I've not died yet. Let's go 150. What is 150?
I mean, 100 plus half his weight should be 150. So
Yeah, it could be a trick question, let's be honest.
Still smiling, the old man looks at you and says quietly, "Wrong." And before you
Told
can do
you.
anything else, he mumbles a few strange words into the air. You feel your muscles harden and your skin go taut. You start to panic, but there is nothing you can do to stop the petrification of your body. Your adventure ends here.
Dun dun dun.
I knew it was a fucking trick question.
Okay, mark that up as 1 Axeon death now. Time of death 7:30. So, when this happens, we can restart nearby or the previous one if need be. So in
I'd
this
say
instance,
the nearby one because I know what the correct answer is for the other one, unless it saves after it.
so you want to go back into the
Yeah. There.
Okay, right, play.
The tunnel makes us.
Get that. So do we want to open the door?
Oh
or
yeah,
keep
we
going?
opened the door.
The door opens into a large candlelit room filled with incredibly lifelike statues of knights and warriors. A white-haired old man dressed.
Get this, can't you?
So would you like to wait for his question, attack him with your sword, or make a run?
Let's shank him.
Attack him with your sword.
Yeah.
You draw your sword and rush towards the old man. He raises his left arm and suddenly you hit and bounce off an invisible shield. Do not be foolish, my powers are great, the old man says calmly. If you do not believe me, watch this. From out of nowhere, a flying fist appears, which smashes into your face before you can duck, losing you 1 stamina point. You shake your head and rub your jaw. You appear to have no alternative but to try to answer his question.
Fuck's sake.
The old man points at one of the statues, and you recognize it immediately.
It's one of your knight
It is the
friends.
knight who...
So, this knight weighs £100 plus half his weight. Is it 100, 150, or 200? I assume you don't want to go for 150 again.
No. Go with 100.
Okay, going with 100.
Still smiling, the old man
No,
looks at
Dad.
you and says quietly, wrong. And before you can
Dad.
do anything else, he
To be
mumbles a
fair,
few strange
I
words
did
into
take me
the
all 3
air.
tries to get that as well.
You
so,
feel your
Oh, really?
muscles
Yeah.
harden and your skin go taut.
I originally
You
thought,
start
yeah,
to
150, yeah, it
But
has
there
to
is
be.
nothing
Yeah,
you can
wrong.
do
Wait,
to
what?
stop the petrification of your body.
So not only did
Your
I knew
adventure
it was a trick question
Here.
the first time. The second time, it tricked me again. What a stupid question.
So, would you like to...
Oh yeah, we're doing it. We're answering this question. I want to see
assume
what
you
I
don't want
get
to
for
rush
doing
in
it.
this time.
Tunnel makes a
No.
sudden left.
Open the door. Wait for the question.
The old man points at one of the statues.
And I assume you want to answer 200?
Yeah.
Still smiling, the old man looks at you and
It
says,
says wrong. No, I'm kidding.
You have answered correctly.
Trick question.
I wish you good fortune during the rest of the trial of champions. And to this end, I shall increase your powers. He then mutters a few more unintelligible words, and you feel a powerful surge soar through your body, increasing your skill, stamina, and luck by 1. You bid the old man
Fortunately, he still
farewell
had full luck and
and leave
stamina.
his
so-
room to continue north.
Your luck went
along
back
the
up at least.
passage.
Sorry, skill
Only a
went back
few
up.
meters further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall.
Fuck's sake.
The letter X is scratched into its center panel. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently, but can hear nothing.
We're gonna
Familiar
keep
to
walking.
previous doors.
Yeah, it really does. Let's keep going.
Yeah, keep walking north, okay.
The passage slowly starts to climb, leading you relentlessly northwards. There are no doorways or even an alcove to investigate, and you become less guarded as you plod on. After a while, you become so nonchalant that you fail to notice a thin tripwire stretched low across the passage. It is only when your foot catches it and you hear a distant rumble that you realize your mistake. The rumbling sound swells to an almost deafening level, and suddenly, out of the gloom of the tunnel ahead, you see a massive
Indiana
boulder
Jones.
rolling towards you, gathering speed with every second.
Let me
You
run.
turn to flee the oncoming boulder. You run faster than you have ever run in your life, but still the boulder is catching up on you. This is a tough one, a test of both your skill and stamina. We'll roll 2 dice, and if the number rolled is equal to or less than both your skill and stamina scores, you should be fine. But
It what?
if the number rolled is
Basically,
more than either of them,
this is saying that, say your
then
skill was
things could
7 and
end
luck was
very
11,
badly.
then you'd have to still roll lower than 7. But if you rolled like 8, 9, 10,
your fear gives
would
you a
be in
new
danger.
surge of energy.
But because you're both at
Somehow
11,
your
then
tired legs manage to keep you in front of the
you're
boulder.
pretty much good at this point.
Ahead, on your right, you see the welcome sight of a doorway. You lunge at the door, and mercifully it flies open. The boulder thunders past you, and you are left lying exhausted on the floor of a large room. Looking around you, you see an alcove in the west wall and a stone chair in the middle of the room. Sitting in the chair is the skeleton of an armed warrior, possibly a contestant from years gone by. The skeletal fingers of its right hand grip a crumpled parchment.
Let me just check the map a sec. Oh,
I
cool. it
didn't
shows
run
you the
very
boulder it
far.
is. Well, I think this is the door that you skipped, and you went up here, and then the boulder came, and now you're in here.
Right, okay.
So you kind of had to go through here, I guess.
So, logic here is we're going to take the parchment from the skeleton. The skeleton's going to wake up. So we're taking the parchment.
But you're taking the parchment expecting a fight.
Yes.
Yeah? I mean, that's like an old cliche that a skeleton would wake up.
Touching the parchment has precisely the effect you had feared. The skeleton lurches forward, and rising from its chair in a series of jerky movements,
Who saw
raises
that
its
coming?
sword to strike.
Everybody.
Lunging sideways, you draw your sword to defend yourself.
Well, yeah, you're still at full, so we're just going to...
Blah!
Oh,
skeleton
he
is
was
strong,
close. He was
but
close.
slow.
Oh.
You swing your sword, which smashes into its leg.
And he does have 8 skills, so he's doing pretty
Yeah.
well for himself.
You
Oh, you're
dodge to
lucky.
the side as the warrior swings its sword.
As long as
You
you
kick
roll
out, knocking its legs out from under it.
3 less
Three,
or more
yeah,
than
3.
your...
If I get 3 less, then I...
You run
Draw
around the
11,
jerking
Flawless
skeleton,
victory once again.
smashing your sword into its arm.
Once again, you reach for the parchment, only this time lying amidst a pile of broken bones. Unfolding it, you see a map of a room with a drawing of a hideous creature inside it. Beneath the monster is a rhyme,
Okay.
which reads, "Should you meet the manticore, of its tail beware. Shield yourself against the spikes flying through the air." You fold up the piece of parchment and put it in your backpack, repeating the
fucking
rhyme
shield.
over and over to yourself. You walk across to the alcove. At the back of the alcove are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush your face as you descend. The cellar ceiling is quite low, and the floor is strewn with debris. In the middle of the wall opposite you is an archway, which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the debris to your right.
Would you like to continue going or stop eating
Yeah,
some of the
yeah.
ground mushrooms?
I'm not a fan of eating random mushrooms, so we'll carry on.
I mean, they could have been good, but we'll step through.
The
Yeah, it
tunnel
could have been.
continues west
You never know.
for several hundred meters, finally ending at some steps leading up to a closed trap door. You climb the steps slowly, hearing muffled voices above you. In the dim light, you can see that the trap door is not locked.
So, would you like to politely knock on the trapdoor for to be welcomed in, or would you like to burst through with your sword drawn?
Tell you what. We'll knock. We'll be nice.
Yeah, we shall knock.
You hear footsteps and suddenly the trapdoor is thrown back.
For a few seconds you are completely blinded by the bright light from the room above, and do not see the goblin thrust in his spear downwards, or hear his sadistic laughter as the point pierces your neck.
Sake.
Your adventure ends here.
We're going back to that point and we're stabbing that goblin.
That is now Axeon death number 3. 3
Yep.
deaths within about 11 minutes at this point. Devereaux, make sure to keep a note of that. That's 3 deaths now. Let us rewind
The
time
tunnel
slightly.
continues west.
And it's
We
that
are
trapdoor.
shanking.
That I believe was my first death when
Oh,
I
really?
played this last week. I stupidly also knocked looking for comfort and in the end getting a spear to the neck.
We're shanking. We're shanking.
Burst through.
You throw the trapdoor open and run up the steps into a bright, lantern-lit room. 2 goblins are sharpening their short swords on a stone set in the middle
Wait,
of the floor.
what?
You catch them momentarily off guard, but they quickly recover and both
They have
rush
short
forward
swords now?
to attack you. A point of note
Oh, you
here,
gave them a chance to
because of the shape of the room,
attack last time.
both
'cause you just
goblins
waited
will
there.
have a separate attack on you in each attack round. However, here your attack will only be effective on one of the goblins. Against the other, you must still use your attack strength in a normal way. But even if your attack would have been effective, you will not wound it.
This is one of the
It
different
will just
attack
count
types I was
this
telling you
as
about.
though you have defended yourself. However,
Yeah.
Basically,
if
when you
its
fight the
attack
second
strength is greater,
enemy, you can only really,
it will have
even if you
wounded
win,
you
you purely just
in the
defend
normal
yourself.
Yeah.
But
Makes sense.
realistically, you've got
Yeah, just attack.
You hurl yourself at your enemy,
I mean, they both get 5,
fists
so
flailing,
Yeah.
and land a stunning
this is
blow.
kind of good practice of the new one. So this second goblin one,
You both swing for each other, and in the confusion, both miss.
yeah, it just counts as like a draw.
Yeah. So just keep swinging.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the
I think you
creature.
need to lose about 6 or 7 here.
Yeah,
That'll
it's quite a lot.
You lunge at the creature's stomach with your sword drawn, but the creature whips around, parrying your blow. Neither of you are harmed.
Third attack on the first goblin.
Your enemy is strong
Jesus
but
Christ,
slow,
these rolls are
and
so
screams
close
in
every
pain as
time.
your sword sinks into his leg.
Really helps when you have high skill.
Yeah.
You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow.
I'll just attack.
You
Carry
thrust
on.
your sword,
Slightly
and
losing,
you
but
clearly
because of your
damage the
skill.
creature.
Yeah, there's no point to keep provisions now when you're
Your
Yeah.
enemy is strong
Oh, he was
but slow,
too ahead there.
and
But
screams in pain as your sword
Yep,
sinks
2
into
goblins
his leg.
defeated.
triumphant in one of your toughest battles to date. You see that the only
the
furniture in the
caveman was
goblin's
harder.
room is a table, 2 chairs, and a cupboard on the wall. There are 2 closed doors, one in the west wall and the other in the north wall.
So we have 3 options here. We can either open the cupboard or
Mm.
try either of the doors.
Open the cupboard.
Open the cupboard.
The cupboard contains a wooden mallet and 10 iron spikes, which you put in your backpack while wondering which door to open.
Yep. Yep.
So we grab some items for.
Can you put the map
Perhaps
up
later
for
on.
me?
Yep,
Pull up
no
the
worries.
map.
So these are the stairs we took down. So here's where we currently are. So we have north or west. That's probably where the cupboard was.
Yeah. I'm gonna go north.
Also, I can click here just to show you
Okay.
what items and stuff you have anyway. So you mallet and 10 iron spikes. So
Right.
what'd you say, north?
North.
The door opens into another tunnel,
which rises gently into the distance. After walking uphill for a while, the tunnel levels out, and you soon arrive at a door in the right-hand wall, to which a withered hand is nailed.
Like to open the door with the withered hand, or would you like to continue north?
Have I got a coin? Heads, we'll go in. Tails, we carry on.
Yeah.
And it is tails.
So we're continuing.
Yep.
Yep.
There
gonna
is an
leave
open
this
pipe
coin.
in the right-hand wall, about a meter in diameter. It is too dark to see far down it. You shout into it and hear your voice echoing down the iron pipe until eventually the sound fades away.
Would you like to crawl down the pipe, or would you like to continue north?
We'll continue north.
Yeah.
I ain't crawling down no pipe.
There is a new branch in the tunnel on your left, and ahead you see two bodies lying on the floor. You stop and peer down the new tunnel, but seeing no doors or creatures, you decide against walking down it. With your sword drawn, you walk over to the bodies of the two orc guards. At least one of your rivals in the Trial of Champions must still be ahead of you. A quick search of the bodies produces nothing, apart from a necklace of teeth around the neck of one of the orcs.
Would you like to wear?
Yes.
necklace
Yes.
The necklace is an amulet of strength, which adds 1 skill point and 1 stamina point.
Bet you were full anyway.
Pleased with your find, you continue your quest north.
I'm
The
gonna
tunnel
be
soon ends
booged
at a
up after
junction.
this.
Standing there alone and wondering which way to go is one of your rivals. It is one of the barbarians. You call out to him, but at first he does not answer. He merely stares at you coldly, his hands firmly gripping his axe. You walk up to him and ask which way he is heading. He grunts his reply, saying that he is going west, and you may go with him if you wish.
So
You
would
know
like
what?
to-
Yep, we'll team up with the barbarian.
Okay.
He seems like a nice guy.
Although you are slightly
you've
uneasy
just
in
met,
each
yeah.
other's company,
Okay.
knowing that there can only be one winner in the Trial of Champions, you are both content to share in the benefits of a temporary alliance. And you begin to tell each other of your exploits so far, of the monsters and traps encountered and the dangers overcome. Walking along, you soon come to the edge of a wide pit. It is too deep and dark to see to the bottom. The barbarian suggests he lowers you to the bottom with his rope, saying he has a torch which he can light for you to use.
So we can accept his offer and go down first. We can offer to lower him down first if he's very eager to go investigate. Or we can both jump over.
I'll suggest that we both jump over.
Yeah.
The barbarian reluctantly agrees to your alternative suggestion. You both step back and take running jumps over the pit, landing safely on the other side. Pleased with the ease with which you clear the obstacle, you continue down the tunnel. The barbarian, now a little reckless, fails to see a raised floor stone, which tilts forward as he stumbles over it, releasing a huge boulder loosely set in the ceiling. The rock crashes down on top of the barbarian, knocking him to the floor, crushing his skull. You must now continue your quest alone.
Wow.
Feeling sorry
Cheers,
for
mate.
the loss of your new companion,
So that's
you carry
two
on
of the other
down the tunnel.
competitors we've now found dead.
Suddenly you see daylight. You run towards the most beautiful sight you have seen for a long time and emerge, expecting to see the welcoming sight of cheering people. But there is no hero's welcome from the people all around you. They are dead. You are standing in a cold chamber littered with armored skeletons and bodies. The exit to victory was just an illusion. Only the corpses of the past adventures are real. Utterly dejected, you walk back towards the tunnel, but hit an invisible barrier. You, like the adventurers tricked before you, are trapped in this ghoulish place and destined to end your days in the chamber of the dead.
Wait, am I dead?
Your adventure ends here.
Ah, what a prick.
I have not actually seen that ending, to be fair. That is now 4 Axeon deaths. So would you like to head back to... What was that, before the jump, or would you like to go back one further?
I want to go back to the jump because I want to see what happens if I ask him to go down the hole.
Yeah, I assume this is the...
Although you are slightly uneasy in each other's company, knowing that there can only be...
So we can either accept or offer to lock
Yeah,
him down.
offer. I want to see what happens.
The barbarian, who tells you he is called Throm, ties the rope around his waist, giving you the free end.
Me from.
As he lights the torch, you see a look of distrust in his eyes. Slowly, he climbs over the edge of the pit while you brace yourself and take the strain of the rope. As you lower him little by little, you see the smooth sides of the pit illuminated by Throm's torch. He finally reaches the bottom and calls up to you, saying that there is another tunnel running north. He tells you to secure the rope around a rock protruding from the edge of the pit and lower yourself to the bottom.
Would you like to stay with the barbarian or jump over the pit?
Stick with him.
Slightly knowing what is ahead of the pit.
Yeah.
Let's stay with the barbarian, shall we?
Yeah.
After tying the rope around the
Well,
rock,
we have to stick with our boy From.
you lower yourself slowly to the bottom of the pit. Throm retrieves his rope by shaking it off the rock, and you set off together down the new tunnel. On a stone ledge in the tunnel wall, you see 2 dusty leather-bound books. Throm grunts his contempt for the written word, urging you to leave the books and hurry on.
Oh, we have a red leather book and a black leather book, or we could continue along the tunnel. Take ye a gander at a book.
Right, head red, tails black. Heads.
The red book.
Which is... Yeah.
As you open the book, it immediately begins to disintegrate, the pages turning to dust in your hands. You manage to keep a few fragments and read the handwritten script. The book appears to be about monsters, and from what you can make out, it contains a full description of a monster called the Blood Beast. It is a horrific, bloated creature with tough, spiny skin and facial blisters which burst open to become mock eyes, evolved to hide the Blood Beast's only weak spot, the real eyes. Blood beasts usually dwell in pools of fetid slime which give off a poisonous gas so strong that it alone can easily knock people unconscious. The blood beast, although too bulbous to haul itself out of its slime pool, has a long and vicious tongue which it wraps around its victims before it drags them into its pool. As the helpless and still living victim's flesh decomposes in the vile slime, the blood beast will feed on it. You tell Throm about the grotesque blood beast.
From one
He
to
merely
beat
shrugs
monster.
his shoulders and tells you
Me
to
from.
get going.
Me no care.
We'll just go north. We've done the 50-50.
Okay, we shall continue north.
The tunnel turns sharply to the right, continuing east for as far as you can see. Throm stops and tells you to halt as well. He turns his head slowly from side to side, listening. I hear footsteps coming down the tunnel towards us, he whispers. Draw your sword. You both crouch down to hide in the shadows, and
Well, he has
not
better
a
ears than
minute
us.
too soon. For a moment later,
He's been training a
you
long
see
time.
the silhouette of 2 armed guards. Throm jumps up and dashes forward, screaming a loud battle cry. They are 2 cave trolls.
Oh, we're against
Throm
trolls. That
attacks
was a
the
quick
first
build-up.
one with his battle axe, and you run to his aid to attack the second.
Attack!
He's got 10 skills.
Oh, Jesus.
You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow.
Attack.
Attack!
You drop to the ground, sweeping away the troll's legs.
Getting closer.
It howls as its head hits the hard ground.
Slap him again.
You
Come on,
drop to
dice.
the ground, grab the
Aye.
creature, and ram
okay.
its head hard into the wall. You look to the left and see Throm standing over the cave troll he has slain. Blood is pouring out from a deep cut in his shoulder, but it does not seem to worry him. You search the bodies of the cave trolls, but find nothing apart from a bone ring on a leather cord hanging round the neck of one of them. The ring is engraved with a symbol which Throm recognizes. He explains that it must have belonged to druids of the north, and that an ancient talisman such as this will increase your powers if your body is able to accept it.
Yes. Remember...
We continue east, yeah? Is that what you
No,
asked
no,
us for, or-
no, no, no. We are now playing Fashion Souls. Put the ring on.
Yep.
As soon as you put the ring on your finger, your whole body starts to shake.
Your
We'll see how
adventure then, see
skillful
it. No, I'm
you
kidding.
really are.
Um,
Remember, a roll equal to or less than your skill score means you've been skillful, but a roll higher than your skill could end badly. Your body
my
continues to
God.
vibrate intensely, and you feel as if you're about to pass out. But your strength is great, and you manage to withstand the tremendous shock to your system. Finally, you calm down and begin to feel the ring's beneficial powers working on you and adding 3 stamina points.
but you're out
You
of the
see
tools.
Throm looking at you anxiously, so you reassure him that you are fully recovered. He strides off east, and you follow him eagerly.
So what have I got now? A
The
bracelet, a
tunnel
necklace, and a ring.
leads into a damp cavern with a high ceiling and rock-strewn floor.
Amulet and
Long
bone ring,
and
I don't
wet,
think it counts
teeth-like
the waistband.
stalactites hang down, threateningly.
Well, I'm counting it.
Their constant dripping creates smoky pools on the floor. The
Ooh.
tunnel carries on through an archway carved in the shape of a demonic mouse.
Search the chamber, or do we go for the archway?
So is the archway the mouth? Oh, are we in the mouth? I've missed that.
The tunnel leads into a damp cavern with a high ceiling and rock-strewn floor. Long and wet, teeth-like stalactites hang down, threateningly. Their constant dripping creates smoky pools on the floor. The tunnel carries on through an archway carved in the shape of a demonic
The
Right.
archway is the
mouse.
mouth.
Search the chamber.
Searching.
You
Bring
walk
up
around the cavern, but find nothing of interest. Throm calls out behind you, saying that he has found a leather pouch under a pile of rocks. Opening the pouch, he laughs out loud as a tiny mouse runs through his fingers and scurries off into the crevice behind 2 boulders. Suddenly, you hear the sound of cracking rock above you and look up to see stalactites breaking off from the roof. Throm's booming laugh, which still echoes through the chamber, has made the stalactites vibrate and break off.
For
You yell at
God's
Throm
sake.
to run through the archway as the stalactites start to crash to the floor. This will be a test of your luck. Despite the stalactites
easy.
crashing all around you, you manage to dash through the archway without injury. You look around and see Throm thundering towards you, one arm held over his head for protection. He dashes into the tunnel and leans against the cold wall, panting heavily, apologizing for starting the rockfall, and offers you his hand to shake. You tell Throm that maybe he should use sign language in future, even for laughing. You both
Throm.
smile and head east once more. The tunnel ends at a
I wouldn't
large
even need
oak
to kill
door.
Throm. He'd take care of himself.
Throm wastes no time in testing the handle and is somewhat surprised to find the door unlocked. He pushes it open and walks into a torch-lit chamber. Sitting alone on an ornate chair is a dwarf who bids you enter. As you do so, the oak door swings shut behind you. Adventurers, you have done well to get this far, says the dwarf in a deep voice. However, as you both know, there can only be one winner in the Trial of Champions. As Trial Master, it is my duty to Baron Circumvit to let only the most able continue. Therefore, I must devise a test of wits and strength to eliminate one of you.
Dun, dun,
Please do not attempt to dispose of me. It will be utterly pointless, for, as you can see, there is no obvious way out of this chamber, and only I know where the hidden exit lies. Know if you would care to decide between you who will go first. I shall make the necessary preparations. You look at Throm, suddenly angry that your effective partnership might come to an end. He leans over and whispers in your ear that you should try to kill the dwarf and worry about the exit later.
So, do we team up against the dwarf, or do we go along with the tests?
You know what? We're gonna go through with the test.
Yeah.
You tell Throm that there is no point in killing the dwarf, as you will never find your way out of the chamber alone. You argue that an opportunity of tricking the dwarf might arise later, once you have
I didn't
found
say
the
that.
exit from the chamber. So you intend
Or
to go
did you?
through with the dwarf's test. You tell the dwarf that you are ready, and he beckons you to follow him, telling Throm to wait for his return. A secret door opens in the chamber wall, and you follow the dwarf into a small circular room. He closes the door behind you and hands you 2 bone dice, telling you to throw them onto the floor. You roll a 6 and a 2, a total of 8. The dwarf asks you to roll them again, but this time you must predict whether the total will be the same, less, or more
Oh,
than the 8.
Oh, a roll of 8. You think you will roll lower, higher, or the same?
probability wise, it's more likely to be lower.
like to go for less.
Yeah. Probability-wise is lower.
Right. Well, as soon as I click this, it's just going to roll the 2 dice anyways.
The dwarf
Oh.
congratulates you for guessing correctly.
Oh
He
my
tells
god!
you that you must now progress to the second stage of the test. He reaches for a wicker basket and tells you that a snake is held within it. He tips the basket over, and the snake drops onto the floor. It is a cobra, and it rears up in the air, ready to strike. The dwarf tells you that he wishes to test your reactions. Barehanded, you must grasp the cobra below its head, avoiding its deadly fangs. You crouch down on the floor, tensing yourself for the moment to seize it. This will be a tough test of your skill. With lightning
Not really, because
speed,
you've got 11 skills.
you thrust your hand out
Yeah.
and grip the cobra just below its open mouth.
It would be different if you,
You
were
lift
down
it
to, say,
up, and with your
5
arm
or 7 at this
outstretched,
point
you
and
dangle
didn't
it
have a
in front
potion.
of the dwarf.
Mm.
He doesn't flinch, but says in his calm, expressionless way,
Please put the cobra back in the basket and prepare for the final part of the test. Follow me.
Follow me.
You do what he says and follow him back into the chamber, where Throm is pacing up and down, obviously ill at ease. You wave to him while the dwarf opens a second secret door and tells you to walk on through and wait for him. Again you comply, and you find yourself in another circular room, although this one resembles a small arena. The floor is covered with sand, and a small balcony runs around the arena wall. Opposite the secret entrance you came in through is an ominous-looking wooden door. Suddenly you hear a shout, and you look up to see the smiling dwarf standing on the balcony. He throws 2 pieces of paper down to you. On one of them, the words, "No crop is," are written. On the other, "Ruin moat." In his ever-calm voice, he says,
If you rearrange the letters of the words, you will find the names of 2 creatures. You may choose which one to fight in my arena of death.
"Can you identify the creature by rearranging the letters?"
So would you like to fight the anagram of no crop is, or the anagram of ruin moat? Or can you not identify either anagram?
Hang on.
Give you a 30-second time limit to try and find these out.
Mo.
15 seconds. Not to press you.
No crop is. Let's fight no crop is.
No crop is, okay.
You call out to the dwarf, telling him to send in the scorpion because you are ready to fight. Slowly, the wooden
Did you
door
figure out both?
rises, and a
I
huge,
figured out that one, I
grotesque
didn't figure out
black
the other.
scorpion squeezes underneath it and enters the room. You draw your sword in readiness and prepare to fight the sinister creature with its huge pincers and deadly sting. The scorpion will attack you with
Oh,
both pincers,
Manticore!
and you must treat each pincer as a separate
Is the
creature,
wrong answer, I'm
as
afraid.
though you were fighting 2 creatures. Each pincer has its own skill level and will attack
let you
you
keep thinking about
separately
it,
in
but-
each attack round. You can only fight 1 pincer in each attack round, attacking it as in a normal battle. But against the other pincer, you must still attack in the normal
So
way.
again, this is like the goblins.
But you
so-
are not wounded,
Yeah.
even if your attack strength is greater. You must count this as though you have just fended off its blow. Of course, if its attack strength is greater than yours, it will have wounded you in the normal way.
Yeah. Just attack. Let's kill it.
10 skill on both, so...
The scorpion swings its huge
Right,
venomous
this
tail above
Discord
its head.
thing's gone.
You step aside as it smashes into the floor,
It's a bit
and you land
laggy
an
for me.
attack from the side.
Try and reset it after the fight.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try and get through it
The
quickly.
scorpion swings its tail at you, but you are fast enough to
Into
roll
the
out
fire.
of the way. Your speed is improving. You run directly at the scorpion and slice at its pincer as you run by. You try to run around the side of the creature, but it grabs your
Wait.
arm, throwing you hard
Nope,
into the
Pincer
wall.
got the one.
The swinging, venomous tail is a formidable weapon, and you shriek as it sinks into your arm.
Ever, that's that first pincer dead now, so...
The scorpion takes a run at you. Its speed is impressive, but you jump aside, landing a heavy blow on its back. The scorpion swings its huge, venomous tail above its head. You step aside as it smashes into the floor, and you land an attack from the side. You manage to get around the back of your enemy, but it quickly kicks backward,
3 hits.
catching you agonizingly in the stomach.
The dwarf calls down from the balcony, congratulating you on your
You got any
victory.
better, or...
He throws the
No.
sack down into the arena and tells
wait
you
until
to
there's another
relax and
choice
regain
and-
your strength for the final
Yeah.
part of the test. Then he walks off, saying he will return in about 10 minutes. You open the sack and find a jug of wine and a cooked chicken.
Right. Right, we'll see now that we've reset that, see if that works.
It seems to be working this time, yeah.
Okay. Maybe because
Seems-
then it keeps clicking on the screen and it takes it away from Discord, which is weird, but... Oh, would you like to eat and drink the wine and cooked chicken? Or...
You know what? He seems like a good dwarf. I'll eat and drink.
The food and drink are excellent, and you feel much better, gaining 2 more stamina points. Fully satisfied, you sit down and await the dwarf's
Still
return.
have 4 less than your maximum.
Yeah.
After about 20 minutes, the dwarf reappears on the
We have 10 of
balcony.
your provisions.
He calls down to you, saying,
Any time to you?
Well, I do have an interesting problem on my hands. Prepare to fight your next opponent.
The
What?
wooden door rises once again, and you are surprised to see a familiar face. It is
Me
Throm.
from?
He is cut and badly bruised and doesn't seem to recognize you. He is clearly delirious as he staggers forward with his axe raised to attack you. The dwarf laughs and says,
The cobra bit him, but he has the strength of an ox and managed to carry on, even though most men would have died. Now you must fight him to decide finally which of you will continue the trial of champions.
You shout abuse at the dwarf, protesting the cruelty of such a contest. He merely laughs, and you have no option but to defend yourself against poor Throm. Despite his wounds,
Oh, from?
he is immensely strong.
Eat provisions or attack?
Attack.
You parry Throm's
Oh.
attack, but he is too strong,
Is that it?
and you trip, cracking your head on the floor as you fall.
Eat provisions or attack?
Attack.
Throm swings low, crashing
Another
into
hit
your
on you.
ankles and knocking you off balance.
Provisions or attack?
Attack. And then once we're out of this, we'll eat some.
You drop to the ground, sweeping away
Tie.
Throm's
2
legs.
losses and a tie. Oh.
You hate it. as he howls as his head hits the hard ground.
Exhausted by your long duel, you fall to your knees as you stare at Throm's still body. A bitter loathing for the dwarf fills your heart. Somehow, you will avenge Throm. Engulfed in your hatred, you do not notice the dwarf enter the arena until he is standing right in front of you, a loaded crossbow aimed at your chest.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know what you are thinking,
He says calmly.
but remember that only I know the way out of here. Get up. It's time for you to leave.
Look,
Once on your feet,
you did me
the
a
dwarf
favour, mate.
indicates that you
got
should
him.
walk ahead of
You
him.
got rid of him. Cheers.
Back in the chamber, he crosses over to the northern wall and pushes against one of its stones. A door-like section of the wall swings out, opening into another crystal-lit tunnel. With his crossbow still aimed at your chest, the dwarf smiles, saying,
Good luck.
Do we walk straight into the tunnel, or do we have one last shot at the dwarf?
Oh, nah. The dwarf's safe. The dwarf's safe. Leave him be.
Yeah.
the tunnel
Gonna eat a
soon
provision
divides
now,
into two.
Yeah, we'll eat.
You hear a buzzing sound coming from the western branch.
Still -4 on your. Remember that. I'll replay that. 'Cause
The
I was talking
tunnel
over.
soon divides into two. You hear a buzzing sound coming from the western branch.
Like to walk west, investigate, or continue north?
We'll keep going north.
Yeah.
Sounded buzzing. No, thanks.
The tunnel leads into a dark chamber covered in thick
Oh.
cobwebs.
No.
Clawing your way through them, you trip over a wooden casket.
Would you like to open the casket in the web-filled tunnel, or continue north?
You can carry on. I ain't touching no casket.
You reach the far wall of the chamber and see two doors.
The door on the left, or the door on your right?
Oh, this is another heads or tails, isn't it?
Yep.
So,
Choose wisely.
head left, tails right.
Yep.
It's heads
So left.
left.
As you touch the door handle, it goes soft in your hand, and when you try to pull it away, you find your hand is now glued to the handle. A giant fist then forms in the center of the door panel and shoots forward, punching you in the stomach, costing you 1 stamina point. The
That's not
fist
too
retracts and prepares to strike again.
Oh wait a minute.
With
that
your
didn't
free
count, no.
hand, you draw your sword and try to cut the handle off the door.
Weird.
Although
Thought
you
it
do not
resets
recognize it, you are being attacked by the fluid form of an imitator.
No, it's not an imitator. It's a mimic. But we're attacking.
Right.
You pull
I
harder
rolled a
and
12.
harder to try to get free.
Jesus.
In your increasing panic, the fist catches you on the chin with a powerful uppercut. You see stars for a few seconds.
Or attack.
Attack.
It's a tight space, but you swing your sword and take a good chunk out of the protruding arm.
Eat or attack.
Attack. We don't sleep.
The hand grabs the blade of your sword, but you are
Almost two
stronger than
ones.
it expected, and pull the blade free,
Let me know whenever
slicing
you
its
want to eat
fingers.
stuff, 'cause
Your
things
sword severs the
7 minutes,
handle
I think, so.
completely, and now
Go on, eat
separated
one
from
more.
its parent body, it shrivels away and drops onto the floor. Having no other choice, you somewhat apprehensively turn the handle of the other door.
What is it? 21.
The door.
I was on.
Yeah.
Opens into another tunnel running north. Ahead you see two stone fountains, one on either side of the tunnel, carved in the shape of cherubs. Water spouts from their mouths and cascades into small bowls at their feet.
Would you like to drink from either of the fountains or continue your walk north?
I'm gonna carry on.
Yeah.
Leaning against the left-hand wall of the tunnel, you see a pair of bamboo stilts. They are securely chained, and you see a label attached to a padlock, which reads, "The price of these stilts is 1 gold piece. Place the coin in the slot to release the lock."
Would you like to buy the stilts for 1 gold? Have
Yes.
2 currently?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a slot in the padlock into which you place the coin. Immediately the lock clicks apart, and you are able to unchain the stilts. You place them on your shoulder and once again set off north. A little farther on, you come to a section of the tunnel which is covered with thick green slime. It looks threatening, so you decide to test it first with a piece of cloth. The slime's corrosive jelly burns the cloth instantly, leaving no trace. You climb onto your stilts and take a few tentative steps across the floor. Your confidence grows, and you soon feel able to tackle the walk across the slime. Smoke rises from the base of the stilts as the slime starts to burn them away. You plod stolidly on and finally reach firm ground again. Unfortunately, the stilts are still covered in slime, and you are forced to dump them, setting off north.
How better the
You
stilts
come
than
to
you,
a
I guess.
junction.
Yeah.
Would you like to go west or continue north?
You know what? I'm northbound at this point.
You soon arrive at a double door in the left-hand wall. You listen at the door but hear nothing. You try the handle. It turns, and you open the left door slightly and peer through the crack. An armed warrior is lying face down on the floor of a bare room with smooth walls and a low ceiling. He is presumably dead, for he makes no movement, even when you call out to him. A large jewel, perhaps a diamond, lies just beyond his outstretched arm.
Enter the room for the jewel, or do we continue north?
You know what? Heads or tails? Heads, we go in. What is with this coin?
Heads again.
Yeah.
Yeah, enter the room.
You finally reach the warrior's body, but as soon as you touch the jewel, both it and the warrior vanish into thin air. You hear the door slam behind you, followed by a sudden, ominous rumbling above you. You look up and see the ceiling start to lower. You run to the door to try to escape, but it is locked, and there is no handle on the inside. The ceiling gradually drops until you are forced to lie on the ground, trying to halt the ceiling's progress with your hands and feet. But it is a hopeless task, and you are crushed to death in the stone vise.
Nice.
If only you'd found a potion that allowed you to detect traps like this.
Oh, wait. It actually tells you that.
Your adventure ends here.
Okay, well, we'll go back and then just go north.
Okay. God knows where the
fu-
potion could be, though. It could be
You
in
soon
one of the bajillion
arrive
places.
at a double door in the left-hand wall.
So we're going to continue north.
Yeah.
The tunnel continues north for quite
Also
a
update the
distance
death counter to
before
5.
coming to a dead end. The mouth of a chute protrudes from the western wall, and it appears to be the only alternative to turning back. You decide to risk it and climb into the chute. You slide
get an
gently
option.
down and emerge into a room, landing on your back. As soon as you stand up,
Wonder if this is
you
maybe
are
a meeting
confronted.
place. Oh yeah, because there's another way down here.
Yeah,
Oh, and look, another way down there, so
yeah.
this must be another checkpoint place, just like back here.
I have gone north a lot.
Just a bit. There must be a bit over here too. Okay, so there must be at least 3 options that let you down here, maybe a 4th.
Hmm.
By the
Interesting.
most repulsive sight you have ever laid eyes on. There in front of you, wallowing in a circular pool of fetid slime, is a bulbous creature too horrible to be believed.
If only we
Its
knew the
body is
name of
green
this
and
thing and
covered
what it
all over
was.
with fearsome-looking
Yeah.
spikes. Its face is a mass of crimson blisters, one of which suddenly bursts to reveal yet another of its many sinister, all-seeing eyes. A narrow path runs around the edge of the pool and leads into another tunnel in the far wall. Remembering the description of the vile blood beast and the warning about the toxic gas rising from its pool, you cover your mouth with your sleeve and step forward with your sword drawn, wary of the blood beast's tongue. As you step around the side of the pool, it rolls forward and flicks out its tongue. But you are ready for it and cleave it with one swipe of your sword. The
Okay.
beast howls in pain and
This
if
is
you
a
didn't-
specific idea,
frantically,
because if you didn't
trying
read the
to
book, you wouldn't
clasp
have
you
known.
between its blood-filled jaws.
Yeah.
You
the-
start hacking at its hideous face in an attempt to pierce its real eyes.
Attack or eat?
Yeah, attack.
Oh, 12 skill. Oh, you're
Jesus.
going at a disadvantage.
You slip on the slimy floor, landing on your back, which is
I'll
lucky
take a tie.
because you narrowly avoid
picture
the
was in
blood
colour, so I'm
beast's
assuming
tail
this is like
whipping
a main
past where your
boss.
head
Yeah.
just was.
That everyone has to fight them. Eat or attack?
Attack.
The creature
Oh, very
turns
good.
and whips its tail at you. The fierce spike at the end misses you by millimeters. You jump forward and strike a clean blow into its rear.
Eat or attack?
Attack.
Again, the bulbous creature
Think that was a
strikes for
lot.
you with its hideous fangs. You jump clear of them, striking out
Oh, maybe it was the
and
red dice I was
smashing
looking at.
one
Must have been
clean out of its hideous
Yeah.
mouth.
Your blade strikes one of the blood beast's real eyes with devastating effect. It slumps back into its pool, thrashing about in a frenzy. You seize the opportunity and run around the side of the pool to the tunnel exit. The tunnel leads into a large room, its ceiling supported by several marble pillars. As you enter the room, you see a strange beast to your right. It has the body of a lion with dragon-like wings attached to it, but its head is like that of an old bearded man. You recognize
That's
the
the
beast.
manticore.
It is a manticore. Taking heed of the warning poem you took from the skeleton warrior, you watch out for its tail, which sprouts a profusion of sharp spikes at its tip, thick and hard as iron bolts. Knowing that the manticore will fire the spikes in its tail at you, you run for cover behind one of the pillars.
Since you don't have a
Before you
shield.
reach it, a volley of
Yeah.
spikes flies through the air,
Yeah.
and one of them sinks into your arm, costing you 2 stamina points,
Because you don't
Okay.
have a
and
shield.
making you wish you still had a shield.
Yes.
You waste no time and attack the manticore with your sword before it has time to
throws a
unleash
shield
more
there?
of its deadly spikes.
No idea. With me.
Eat or attack?
Attack.
Oh, you're on equal skill. Oh,
The creature
jeez.
runs directly at you. You move
What
too
happened
late,
then?
and the creature smashes you
Oh.
onto a wall, costing you valuable stamina.
Eat or attack?
Attack.
You seize an
Holy
opportunity to attack the creature's
Again?
leg,
Oh,
but it's ready for you. And before you can strike, it rips your leg with its razor-sharp claws.
and then
Eat
we'll
or
attack, and then we can eat.
The giant creature whips its
Oh,
spiked
tie.
tail at you, firing more spikes.
I'll take that. I'll
You
take
duck and roll, quickly slicing a chunk from its tail, passing close to you. As you are wiping the manticore's blood from your sword, you are surprised to see a small man jump out from behind one of the marble pillars. He is dressed in a tight-fitting green tunic and looks quite
that.
harmless,
Leprechaun?
although you are wary of the way he is holding an opaque glass ball with a shimmering green light. "Greetings," he says cheerfully. "My name is Igbot,
Oh yeah, do you
the
want
gnome,
to eat some food?
and I am the trial master for your final test. Needless to say, my magical powers are great, so you should not try to attack me. You may have learnt, during your quest, that gems play an essential part in the trial of champions. The iron door in front of you is the victory exit, but there is only one way of opening it. 3 gems have to be put into the lock mechanism in the correct
We know where
order.
one is.
Each gem radiates a unique energy, which will
Okay,
trigger
maybe
the
we don't.
mechanism. If you do it correctly, that is. But first, we need the correct gems. First, you will need an emerald. The gnome shakes his head and says, "I'm afraid that you have failed the trial of champions. Baron
What?
Succumvit's Deathtrap dungeon will keep its secrets for another year, as you will not be allowed to leave here. You are appointed my servant for the rest of your days to prepare and modify the dungeon for future contestants. Perhaps, in another life, you will succeed."
Shit.
Ah, so you got to the ending. Interesting. I never got this far, so.
To the end, but that's bullshit.
Oh, we made it to the end. That doesn't really count as a death. I think that's more a fail, I'd say,
Yeah.
because we didn't have any of the gems.
So what? What? Well,
So now the real question is, how far do you want to go back to try and find some of the other options for gems?
yeah, no, I was just thinking that.
Here's where we started.
Oh, I feel like
We are about halfway through the supposed time if you wanted to try a full run again.
we'll start back at beginning.
Yeah, do you want to just keep the same stats you had?
Yeah, may as well.
That's good to know that it kind of lost about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I said, I kept dying and then just restarting a new character just to see what there was, so.
The clamour of the excitement.
Right, so do that. So, do we want to open the original box?
Yeah, we'll open it. Get the gold.
The lid of the box
Five
lifts off
deaths, one
easily.
slave. We'll
And
just call it a
inside, you
fail,
find 2
Severin.
gold pieces and a note written on a small piece of
We did get
parchment
to the
addressed
end,
to
but
you. After
We
placing the
weren't,
gold in your
fully
pocket,
prepared.
you read the
Let's
message,
put it that way.
which says, "Well done. At least you had the sense to stop
can
and take
skip this.
advantage of the
Yeah,
token."
we know that. Right, so are we heading west again, or are we heading east?
Well, this time we're going to be a solo, so head east.
One footprint went.
Yeah.
Ahead, you can see a large obstruction on the tunnel floor. Although it is too dark to make out exactly what it is, the wet eastbound footprints you have been following carry on towards the obstruction.
Second, does the... Oh, right, so that does all still save. Interesting.
Are you looking? Oh, if all of my progression.
Yeah, all the maps still there, so we'll kind of know what to do each time.
Hmm.
Well, that'll be good when I come back to try and do everything.
It's a
That's
shame
fair
though
enough.
you can't have multiple saves. To be fair.
Yeah, it's kind
Uh,
of annoying. So, would you
well,
like to head back west or continue east?
continue east.
You see that the obstruction is a large brown boulder-like object. You touch it with your hand and are surprised to find that it is soft and spongy.
Would you like to climb over the soft sponge or slice it open?
We'll slice it.
Your sword easily pierces the thin outer casing of the giant spore ball. A thick brown cloud of spores bursts out of the ball and envelops you. Some of the spores stick to your skin and start to itch terribly. You lose 2 stamina points as great lumps come up on your face and arms, and your skin feels as if it is on fire. Frantically scratching your itching lumps, you step over the now deflated spore ball. Pressing on east, you turn left, which heads north for as far as you can see. The footprints you are following start to peter out as the tunnel becomes gradually drier. Soon you are beyond the dripping roof and the pools on the floor. You notice the air becoming hotter, and you find yourself panting even though you are walking quite slowly. In a small recess on the left-hand wall, you see a section of bamboo standing on its end. Lifting it down, you see it is filled with a clear liquid. Your throat is painfully dry, and you feel a little dizzy from the heat in the tunnel.
I do like the effect there. Would you like to drink the liquid or continue north?
Heads or tails? Let's go. Heads, we drink.
Well, it was heads again.
Hang on.
Oh, you saw you do it, sorry.
Taking the fucking piss.
Was it heads?
It's heads. Fuck you, coin.
That one of those 2-headed coins, by the way. Before I get bamboozled. Let's drink the liquid.
The water in the bamboo pipe is welcomely refreshing and adds 1 stamina point.
Oh.
It also contains a magical solution which will enable you to be exposed to melting point temperatures without harm. Discarding the bamboo, you start off north again, in good spirits. You find yourself dripping with sweat as the temperature continues to rise. As you struggle on, the heat intensifies until it becomes so unbearable that you feel yourself begin to pass out. Although the temperature in the tunnel is higher than you could normally tolerate, the liquid from the bamboo pipe keeps you alive, and mercifully, after a few moments, the temperature drops rapidly and soon feels almost cool again.
So he was in
On
an
the
oven.
left-hand
Got
side
it.
of the tunnel is a closed door.
I'm
It has a
familiar.
small iron plate in it, which looks like it might slide open.
Would you like to try the door, slide the iron plate first, or continue north?
Let's slide the iron plate.
Yeah.
The small plate slides open easily, and you find yourself peering into a room with a deep pit in the floor behind the door. On the opposite wall, there is a coil of rope hanging on one of 2 iron hooks.
To go in and take the rope, or continue north?
Yeah, let's do Indiana Jones. This character is going to be a bit more carefree.
Fair enough. Let's take the rope.
The door swings open into the room, and you step back and jump over the pit. You put the rope in your backpack and jump back over the pit to leave the room and head north. Ahead,
Okay.
You see that the tunnel turns sharply to the left
Already you have
You
an
turn
item
a
that you wouldn't
corner.
have had last time.
and almost bump straight into two fierce-looking orcs, armed with morning stars and wearing leather armor. You are totally unprepared for them and struggle to ready your weapons. The orcs roar. And as you draw your sword, one of them swings its morning star at you, which, thankfully, crashes into your shield, bouncing
Hey,
off
you've got your shield again.
harmlessly. The
I
tunnel is
do.
too narrow for both of them to attack you at once, so you fight them, one at a time.
First combat for this side.
Yeah, so just attack.
That's
Straight.
almost full.
Your shield protects you from the
This
orc's
orc's as good as
frenzied
a
attack,
goblin.
while you're able to hack at its leg. You raise your sword
How is
to
an
parry
orc
the attack
as good fighting
and are
as a
able to
goblin?
kick the orc hard in the stomach.
I think it mentioned it was it a narrow hallway, so
The
that's why
orc
you
is
can
strong but
thing,
slow,
Plus they're kind of
and you're
slow,
able to strike hard with
No,
your
but like,
sword.
wasn't the goblin's skill 5
The
as
first
well?
orc slumps lifeless to the floor,
Yes.
so you turn
But I
your
think that was
attention
mainly because it was like the
to the
first
other.
double fight you
Ah,
were
yeah.
fighting. Like these orcs are. Yeah, this one's a bit tougher at least.
Yeah,
A little
fair.
bit.
Your shield protects you from the
Oh.
orc's frenzied attack, while you're able to hack at its leg.
Almost.
Yeah.
You raise your sword to parry the attack, and are able to kick the orc
Oh, I win
hard
that
in the
one.
stomach.
Yep.
The orc is
And
strong
again.
but slow,
Rawless.
and you're able to strike hard with your sword.
Inside one of the orc's pockets, you find one gold piece and a
Oh,
hollow wooden
boys.
tube. You put your
Porridge.
findings in your backpack and set
I
off.
can leave now.
west.
I've got 3 gold out of this.
As you walk along, droplets of water again start falling from
Put
the
3
tunnel
gold pieces in
ceiling.
the door. That'll work.
Heading west, you see wet footprints made by the same boots that you followed earlier. They lead to a closed iron door in the right-hand wall of the tunnel, but do not seem to go any further.
You want to open the iron door or continue west?
Open the door.
Flip your coin again or?
Yeah.
The door opens into a large chamber,
This time I said open the door
where
and
you are
tails and it was
shocked to see
tails.
one of your
Okay.
rivals, who has obviously met a sudden gory death.
No.
It is one of the barbarians, and he
Not
is
from.
impaled on several long iron spikes that are fixed to a
Me not
frame,
from.
which has sprung out of the floor. A lot of debris litters the floor, concealing a hidden tripwire, which he must have stepped on, releasing the spiked frame. In the far wall is an alcove, in which you can see a silver goblet standing on a small wooden table.
Do you want to search the barbarian for anything? Walk towards the alcove where the goblet is, or close the door?
Search the barbarian.
Yeah.
The pouch on the barbarian's belt is empty, apart from some strange-looking dried meat wrapped in a cloth.
Okay.
Like to eat the meat or leave it?
Let's
to the
leave it and
alcove?
walk. Yeah, let's walk to the alcove.
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
walk
leave the meat.
slowly over to the alcove, carefully checking the floor for any more hidden traps. You see that the goblet contains a sparkling red liquid.
It's wine.
Sparkling red liquid. That sounds
Drink.
nice. Drink, okay.
As you lift the goblet, it releases a sprung catch, and a dart shoots out of the wooden table leg. This will be a test of your luck. Well, roll 2 dice And if the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky. But if the roll is higher than your luck score, then your luck
Don't fuck me over
isn't
this
in.
time, yeah?
Your reflexes are sharp, and you quickly jump aside. The dart
See, we're getting
whistles
these just
past,
by one.
only
Yeah, I
just
know,
missing
innit?
you, and thuds into the opposite wall. You see the goblet lying on the floor, and the red liquid running away in rivulets over the grey stone. At least the goblet may be of use. So you put it in your backpack, leave the chamber, and continue west.
Goblet of fire.
The passage soon leads to a junction where you notice more footprints on
That's
the
what you
floor,
believe, then.
possibly as many as 3 pairs
I'm going to
heading
Hogwarts.
north from the south passage. You decide to follow them to where the passage opens out into a wide cavern, which is darker but much drier. Ahead, you see the footprints gradually fade, then disappear. There is a large idol in the...
Yeah, that's you gone all that way.
Ah,
round to where
okay.
this is.
Yeah. Okay, no, that works. That works.
center
Okay.
of the cavern that must be 6 meters high.
Because
In its
there was
head
something
are
I didn't do
jeweled
last
eyes,
time.
each as big as your fist. On either side of the idol stand 2 giant stuffed, bird-like creatures.
Like to climb the idol, take the jewels,
Yes.
or walk through.
I'd like to take the jewels this time.
Okay, fair enough.
The idol is very smooth and will be difficult to climb, but the rope you found earlier will help here.
Boom, 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 boom!
boom! You whirl the rope above your head and throw it up at the idol, smiling happily as it lands around its neck. You then tighten the noose and start to climb, hauling yourself up the rope. You are soon at the top of the idol, sitting on the bridge of its nose and holding on to the rope. You draw your sword and wonder which jeweled eye to prize out first.
Prize the left eye or the right eye?
Well, heads.
One way to
left.
decide, apparently.
Coin! Tails, right. And it's tails, so we're going right.
Yep.
You try to force the point of your sword under the emerald eye. Much to your surprise, the emerald shatters on contact, releasing a jet of poisonous gas straight into your face. The gas knocks you out, and you release the rope, bouncing down the idol and crashing onto the stone floor. Your adventure ends here.
Dun dun dun. That
Right.
would be death number 6.
Yep.
So I'll go back to.
Back to the
There is a
idol.
large idol.
Would you like to climb the idol or walk through
Yes.
the cave?
We're climbing back up and going to the
Fine.
left
The
eye.
idol is very
Have the
smooth.
rope. So would you like the left eye or the right eye?
Left.
You don't want to flip a coin, or
No.
we'll take the left eye.
As you touch the idol's emerald eye, you hear a creaking sound below you. Looking down, you are shocked to see the 2 stuffed birds flying off. Their wings flap in jerky movements, but they are soon above you and look set to attack. You'll fight the flying guardians one at a time, but reduce your skill by 2 during this combat because of your restricted position.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So eater attack.
Attack.
The beating wing of the
Stop.
Guardian smashes into the side of your head, leaving you seeing
Damage.
stars and
Oof.
sapping your stamina.
Eater
Attack again.
Attack.
Coming
Don't
at
eat
you
in
with its
combat.
razor-sharp talons, you're able to swipe your sword
partially
Whenever
removing
you
one of
can.
the Guardian's toes.
Attack then.
Yep.
You're able to grab the wing of the Guardian and send it crashing into the idol. It recovers, but you took some of its stamina.
The crumpled form of the first flying guardian falls crashing to the floor. So you ready yourself to take on the second.
Attack.
Attack!
The Guardian snaps at you with its vicious beak,
Bellow rolls it.
but you're able to
Jesus.
smash the hilt of
Attack.
your sword into its outstretched neck.
Attack.
Yep.
Coming at you
Aye,
with
there,
its
so you went.
razor-sharp talons, you're able to swipe your sword, partially removing one of the Guardian's toes.
And attack.
That's a good toe.
You're able to grab the wing of the Guardian and send it crashing into the idol. It recovers, but you took some of its stamina.
Your final swipe dispatches the second flying guardian. You look down and see the crumpled bodies of the two flying guardians lying motionless on the floor. You start to prize out the idol's emerald eye with the tip of your sword. At last it comes free, and you are surprised
one
by its
gem.
weight when it falls into your hand. Hoping it may be of use later, you put it in your backpack.
So this is where the special one comes into play, the jewels. There are 6 in total.
Oh.
But apparently since you got to the door, you've now sort of, in another life, realised that you only need 3 out of those 6. So, but it would maybe help to gather all 6, so that...
Yeah. Just climb down from there, because we know what happens if we do the right.
Don't want to prize right, I know.
No.
Okay, we'll climb down.
Back on solid ground once again on the cavern
Right.
floor,
So,
you try to shake the rope
so
off
that
the
means no,
idol's
we
neck.
did come across one. We just needed that
This will be a
potion.
test of your luck. Remember,
Because we came across the diamond, didn't
dice
we?
a
And we got
roll.
crushed.
equal to or less than
Didn't
your
the
current
diamond
luck
disappear
score,
with the body?
you'll have been lucky. Higher than
Oh,
your
shit, it
current
did,
luck
didn't it?
score, you have been unlucky. The lasso loosens itself, and you are able to shake it free of the idol's neck. It falls to the floor with a loud clatter. You quickly coil the rope up again and
No,
put it
you
in
get
your
your rope
backpack.
back again at least.
So that
Wasting
means we
no
need
more
the rope
time
for
in the
something
cavern.
else.
You run forward to the tunnel in the northern
Triangle
wall.
the gnome at the end of the door and
Not much farther down the tunnel, you come to a closed door on your left. Putting your ear to the door,
I wonder
you
what was
listen
in here.
intently, but hear nothing.
now would you like to go into here or would you like to keep walking north?
We'll just keep walking, because we know what's in that room.
Enough?
The tunnel twists.
It's a
and
water
turns,
it's a
but
water
keeps
trap.
steadily north. Ahead, you see a thin shaft of blue light streaming down from the ceiling to the floor. It sparkles and shimmers, and you can see images of laughing faces in the light.
Would you like to walk through the light or walk around the light?
Walk around. I don't trust walking through it.
You come to
Yeah.
an arched doorway set in the right-hand wall of
Yep.
the tunnel. The heavy stone door
We'd like to. Did not try this door last time. Would you like
Well,
to try the door or continue
yep.
along the tunnel?
Let's go in the door. Let's go in the door.
Yeah.
Lifting the latch and pushing the heavy stone door open, you find yourself in a large cavern. The light is dim and murky, but as your eyes begin to adjust, you see that the walls are covered in green algae and running with moisture. The floor is strewn with straw. The atmosphere is warm, damp, and fetid, and a soft humming sound fills the air. You step gingerly through the straw towards a corner of the cabin where there appears to be a shallow pit. Peering warily into the pit,
you are disgusted to see a mass of pale, writhing worms, some as much as half a meter long.
worms.
Nauseated, you are about to turn away when you notice that their undulating bodies are swarming around a dagger, its point held fast in a crack in the pit floor. The hilt is cased in black leather, studded with opals, and the blade is fashioned from a strange, reddish-black burnished metal you have never seen before. You long to touch the dagger, but this would mean plunging your hand in among the writhing worm.
Would you like to reach for the dagger or back away in disgust?
I don't know why I'm flipping a coin. I want to reach for the dagger.
Taking a deep breath,
Told you it was a two-headed coin.
you lean over the pit and plunge your forearm into the mass of wriggling worms. They are cold and clammy and feel extremely nasty, but at least they are harmless, and you are able to seize the dagger by the hilt. You give it a hard tug and it comes away from the crack in which the tip was embedded. Admiring its beauty and wondering whether it might once have belonged to some luckless contestant, you put the opal-studded dagger firmly in your belt and leave the cavern. As you make your way back to the doorway, the buzzing sound increases in intensity, and you look around desperately to discover where it's coming from. Glancing up in the nick of time, you see a huge and grotesque black shape of a giant fly emerging from a recess high up in the cavern wall. As it gets closer, you realize that it's at least 1.5 meters long. Its opaque wings vibrate, making the sickening buzzing noise you can hear, and its 6 black, hairy legs are poised to grasp your body. Below, its multifaceted eyes is a long, shiny black proboscis, which darts in and out venomously. You have stolen the giant fly's treasure from her brood of maggots, and you must face the consequences. It's time to test your luck again.
Okay.
Remember, a roll equal to...
Roll. Oh,
the giant
snake
fly
eyes.
swoops down again to try to catch you.
Easy.
This time you manage to evade its outstretched legs.
I don't know.
Stepping back, you draw your sword to prepare to fight the hideous insect as it turns to attack you again.
Eat or attack.
No, attack.
You are -3
The creature
for
flies at you so close you can't use your weapons.
stamina.
Grabbing
maybe.
it by its legs, you swing
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
slamming it into a wall.
Escape, eat or attack.
Attack.
You spin your
Oh,
sword
wait.
around your head,
Okay.
clipping the fly and removing
Oh, it's
part
because I've
of one
been
of its
clicking on
legs.
Discord. I don't think you can hear some of the sounds. Escape, eat or attack.
Attack. Why is
I'm
it
trying-
giving me the option to escape?
You hurl yourself at your enemy, fist flailing, and land a stunning blow.
Just in case you don't want to
Pleased
fight
with your
it. but
victory, you wipe the vile
You will
yellow
take a
slime
direct
from the
hit.
blade of your sword and walk quickly to the door, back to the tunnel, and head north. The tunnel
We do.
ends shortly at a junction. Looking left and right, you see a
Did we
narrow
go both
passage
ways?
disappearing into the dim distance.
You did. I believe you fought something along that way.
In that case, go.
Over to the east was all of that.
Yeah. Go east, and we'll follow the route we did, and then we'll go north.
Yeah.
You know, after the
You
goblin
walk
bit.
down the passage and soon find yourself standing
Right,
at
with
the
that,
edge of a
I'm
deep,
going to go
dark
to the
pit.
toilet and go for a quick
The
smoke.
passage continues
Yeah, no worries.
east
I'll
on the other
talk to
side
chat
of
for a
the
minute or
pit.
two.
Yep.
You think
Let me know when you're
you
back.
could probably jump over the pit, but you're not sure. There is a rope hanging down from the ceiling over the center of the pit.
Right, we'll leave the choice there right now. So yeah, hopefully everyone in chat's having a good night. How are we all doing? With your luck, everything has to be easy. Yeah, the luck score is pretty high. I did sort of limit Axeon to 6 rerolls between the 3 stats, but he did not too bad from what he had. Has been kicking me. How you been? Yeah, not too bad, Edith. Just been working away since my week off last time. Hey, fat boy. Hey, Janet, how we doing? My husband has the book of this. Ah, nice. I do hope they bring out more of these interactive ones, because I would like to do these as like series, but I think this is the only one that's out right now. Hey, Javi, how we doing? Yeah, been not too bad. Trying to get through. Because I was off last week, just trying to get back through work. But tomorrow's Friday and can relax. Hopefully a nice quiet weekend. I think I'm meant to be playing SCP on Saturday, and then still haven't figured out what I'm playing on Sunday, to be honest. I need to see if there's anything on the Steam store or anything that I fancy playing, to be honest. Anyone else got any plans for the rest of the week and the weekend, or are we all stuck indoors? Hey, official, how we doing? Hope everyone's alright. Yeah, anyone get any plans this weekend, or? Ah, good to hear, official. Apologies for not talking too much during the stream, but if I mute myself, then I don't think Axeon can hear the game being played, so trying to talk in chat as much as I can. School and relaxing. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I've still got work tomorrow.
Alright, Ty's back.
No worries. Oh, would you like to throw your shield again?
We'll just
Jump over the pit or reach for the rope?
We'll just... No, we'll just jump.
Jump over, okay.
Because I have a feeling the third
Taking
one
a
with
step
your sword
forward,
means she
you
loses
leap
the sword.
towards the edge of the pit. How lucky are you feeling? Rolling
very.
equal to or less than your luck?
Incoming 12.
Your armor and sword weigh you down, but you just manage to land safely on the far edge of the pit. You waste no time and head east. The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north as far as you can see.
And this was the bit where if you go north, it's the boulder, isn't it?
You soon arrive
One more, because we're here right now.
Oh, okay.
at a closed wooden door in the left-hand wall.
What was in here? Oh, it was the guy with the riddle.
Would you like to open the door or keep going now?
Just keep going. It's the guy with
Only
the
a few
riddle, if I
meters
remember
further
correctly.
down the passage, You see another closed door in the left-hand wall. The letter X is scratched into its center panel. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently, but can hear nothing.
Yeah, go in.
Go into this door. So you never
Yeah.
noticed from the boulder last time, but there was an X on the door.
The door opens into a large room. Looking
Really?
around, you see an alcove in the west wall. In the middle of the room, sitting in the chair,
Oh, it's the
is the
skeleton.
skeleton of an armed warrior,
Oh, skeleton.
possibly a contestant from years gone by.
I wonder what happens
The
if we take
skeletal
the
fingers
paper in
of
his
its
hand.
right hand
Who knows?
grip
Who can say?
crumpled parchment.
Oh.
Would you like to take the parchment and
Oh,
see what happens?
yeah.
Or?
Yeah, oh, 100%. I don't know what's going to happen.
Can't think of what's
Touching the
going to happen.
parchment
No, just skip
has
this.
precisely the effect you had
The
feared.
chair becomes possessed and will attack the skeleton. Okay.
The skeleton is strong, but slow. You swing your sword, which smashes into its leg.
Attack.
You dodge to the side as the warrior swings its...
Do this.
You run
another
around.
attack.
Once again, you reach for the parchment.
And then
At the
it's
back
the
of the
riddle
alcove,
about the
yep,
manticore.
are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush your face as you descend. The cellar ceiling is quite low, and the floor is strewn with debris. In the middle of the wall opposite you is an archway, which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the debris to your right.
Would you like to step through the archway or stop to eat some of the mushrooms?
No, I'm not going to mess about. Just step through.
Step through. Okay.
The tunnel continues west for several hundred meters, finally ending at some steps leading up to a closed trapdoor. You climb the steps slowly, hearing muffled voices above you. In the dim light, you can see that the trapdoor is not locked.
So, do you fancy knocking on the trapdoor?
Oh, I don't
or
know. You know
busting through the
what?
trapdoor with your sword drawn?
Since my guy's hench will burst through it. No cap.
Wonder what would
You
happen
throw
if you
the
didn't.
trapdoor
Oh,
open
no idea.
and run up the steps into a bright, lantern-lit room. Two goblins are sharpening their short swords on a stone.
This. Right.
You hurl yourself at your enemy,
One.
That's a drop.
fists flailing, and land.
I don't know, it's only the second one right now that would end up as a.
You both swing for each
Oh.
other, and in the
Lucky I did.
confusion, both
still.
miss. You thrust your sword, and you
Loss
clearly
if it wasn't
damaged
for your
them.
skill. Goblin.
You lunge
You
with
would
the
have lost
creature's
again if it
stomach
wasn't
with
for
your
your skill.
sword drawn.
Right, first goblin dies.
Your
You would have
enemy
lost
is
again if it
strong,
wasn't for your skill.
slow, and screams in pain.
Get the
Should
bad
riding a
rolls
lot.
out here. Get the bad rolls out here, game.
You
You
would have
hurl
lost.
yourself at your enemy,
Jesus.
fists flailing.
Again, yeah.
Also, I've not rolled one.
You
12
thrust your
yet.
sword,
Yeah.
and you clearly damage the creature.
Yeah, you win that one, that's fine. Last attack.
Your enemy is
I was
strong,
going to say, if you give me a
slow,
12 now, I'm going to
and
kick off.
screams in pain as your sword sinks into its
Pretty
leg.
strong at least.
Triumphant in one of your toughest battles to date.
Right, so do you want to open the cupboard, open the west door, or
Yes,
open the north
open
door?
cupboard. Oh
Open the
yeah,
cupboard gives you
we never
the
did
cupboard.
anything with them.
Contains a wooden mallet and 10
Mallet.
iron
Wooden mallet and the
spikes,
spikes.
which you
Right, so would you like to open the north door or the west door?
We'll go north this time. Not northwest.
Go west, okay.
Yeah.
See what's down here.
The door opens into another tunnel. Walking
No.
west, you soon arrive at another door in the north wall.
See what the map shows now. Okay, so we have a door to the north or continue west.
Let's open.
Open the door.
The door opens into a small room in which there is a human skull with jeweled eyes resting on the top of a marble
Get in.
plinth. A row of
Jeweled
loaded
eyes, you say?
crossbows is
Interesting.
fixed to the left-hand wall, and 2 small wooden balls lie on the floor just inside the door.
Okay.
Walk into the room and pick up the skull. Throw a wooden ball at the skull from the doorway. Close the door and continue taking the wooden balls with you. If that's not the idea of it's my ball and I'm taking it home with me, I don't know what is.
Imagine just seeing the skull and just going, I want the ball.
Yeah. Oh, what?
We'll throw a wooden ball at the skull.
Yeah. Seems like the safest option.
You take aim and hurl the wooden ball at the skull. A test of skill.
Oh, skill test at least.
The wooden ball smashes into the skull, knocking it off the plinth and onto the floor. Much to your surprise, the crossbows do not release their deadly bolts. You step into the room cautiously and pick the skull up off the floor.
Okay.
You recognize the yellow jeweled eyes as topaz and eagerly pluck them from their sockets. You put them in your backpack, wondering whether or not a trap still awaits you in the room.
Get down on all fours and crawl out of the room holding the skull, or replace the skull on the plinth before leaving the room.
Ooh.
Now, this is interesting.
Get down on all fours because the logic here is since they didn't go off with the skull when it fell off, is if you put it on, you're there. So once you put it on and it gets the weight, they'll then shoot. So get down on all fours and crawl out.
Interesting. On the other hand, it could be proximity based
It could be.
through magic, but you want to all fours and crawl out.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
A tickling sensation runs down your spine as you crawl carefully out of the room. Back in the tunnel, you heave a sigh of relief.
I think
Throw
I got
the
that
skull
one right.
back into the room and slam the door shut. Pleased with your good
Do I
fortune,
still have one of the wooden
you
balls?
set off west.
I don't think
Once
so. I
again.
think you only picked one up.
The tunnel takes a sharp turn
Yeah,
and
you
you
only
find
picked
yourself
one
in a
up.
sort of gallery lined with mirrors
should have
for some
picked two.
20 meters. A
Okay,
human
so we've got
skeleton
topaz
appears
now.
to be pulled halfway through the mirror along the right-hand wall. Suddenly, a grotesque being with 4 arms and 4 screaming faces
Shiva?
emerges from the mirror, barring your way ahead. It walks slowly towards you, each arm outstretched to grab you. It is a mirror demon from another dimensional plane, come to take your
Why I
spirit.
didn't approach the mirror earlier.
Try to smash the mirrors or attack the mirror demon with your sword. I wonder if there was a third option here for throw the wooden ball at the mirrors.
Oh, I wonder actually.
That'd be interesting.
Try to smash the mirrors.
Yeah.
That's
You
also a
swing your
good point.
sword
Actually,
against the mirror
skull
with all
would
your
be lighter
might,
without the
but
gems.
to no effect.
Yeah.
The mirror does not break, and the mirror demon keeps advancing.
Okay, try to smash the mirrors again or attack the mirror demon. Although the mirror demon has advanced a little bit on you this time. But maybe something different will happen if you try to smash again.
You know what? Yeah, I'm down to go down the try to smash the mirrors and see what happens.
Smash again, okay.
The mirror demon is almost on top of you when, summoning all your strength, you strike one final blow against the mirror with your sword. A clear test of your skill. The mirror shatters, sending fragments of glass flying everywhere. The mirror demon's 4 faces cry out in agony, and cracks appear all over them. They too shatter and fall to the floor in shards of broken glass. I'm sorry to say you cut your sword arm badly while smashing the mirror. Although your strength is unaffected, your weapon skill is diminished, losing you 2 skill points. However,
Oh, what?
undeterred by your experience, you continue your journey north.
Interesting.
In
Shit.
front of you are 2 flights of stone steps separated by a banister of rat skulls.
Ooh.
Left-hand steps or right-hand steps? The
You know
coin
what this
awaits.
Yep. Heads left, tails right. Heads.
For God's I swear you've got a two-headed coin. Okay, left-hand steps it is.
Treading carefully, you slowly make your way up the steps. You soon reach the top without mishap and continue along the new tunnel, which takes the sharp turn right. After 100 meters in the tunnel, you come to a junction. Looking left, you see the dead bodies of 2 orc guards. At least one of your rivals in the Trial of
Awesome.
Champions must still
The
be
milk
ahead.
here.
Hmm.
Oh wait, aye. That must be a bit up. Wait, is that?
I don't think I've been here before, have I?
Sounds familiar to...
Been.
Oh no, but we did go around here because you went up north last time, so... Yeah, that must be a pathway there. So this... I think
Ahead of
this is
you.
where you meet, potentially.
A quick search of the bodies produces nothing apart from a
Oh,
necklace of teeth hanging around the neck.
Would you like
of
to
one
wear the
of the
necklace of teeth?
Yes.
Or-
Yes.
The necklace,
Ah, it's
is
an
an
amulet of
amulet
strength.
of
Who
strength.
would have known?
which adds 1 skill point and 1 stamina point.
Well, you've
Pleased with your
you're only
find,
-1 skill
you
and minus
continue your
2
quest
stamina at this point.
north. The
No, I don't
tunnel
wanna go
soon
north.
ends at a junction.
I wonder
Standing
what would
there,
happen then if we went right.
I don't think you can.
No, I mean, you know,
I think
from
from
them
there you have to
stairs.
go up.
You know, because of the stairs we had left and right, didn't we?
Oh no, that's that. So the right stairs would have brought you here. I don't know if there would have been something different though. But that takes you all the way to here.
Yeah.
I don't think you can
Oh,
do that
that's-
from over here.
Yeah.
You'd have to go north to do that one, I think.
Interesting.
alone and wondering which way to go is one of your rivals. It is one of the barbarians. You call out to him, but at first he does not answer. He merely stares at you coldly,
from?
his hands firmly gripping his axe. You walk up to him and ask which way he is heading. He grunts his reply, saying that he is going west, and you may go with him if you wish.
Would you like to
This
head west
time-
with the barbarian?
This
or-
time, we were going to ditch his ass.
Okay, decline his offer and head east alone.
Yep.
The eastern tunnel soon comes to a dead end.
Oh, for fuck's
A piece
sake.
of paper, brown and cold with age, is pinned to the end wall.
Pull it off the wall to see whether there's a message written on it, or hurry back down to join the barbarian.
Let's pull it off.
The paper bears a simple warning, written in dried blood. Beware the trial masters. You replace the paper on its nail and run back down the tunnel to rejoin the barbarian. Running down the tunnel, you soon catch up with the barbarian and tell him that the eastern passage comes to a dead end. He nods his head in silent understanding and sets off towards the west with you at his side.
Oh, you get to join him anyway.
Okay.
Although you are slightly uneasy in each other's company, knowing that there can only be one winner in the Trial of Champions, you are both content to share in the benefits of a temporary alliance. And you begin to tell each other of your exploits so
Yeah, we'll skip that then. Right,
Yeah.
so accept Barbarian's offer and go down, offer to lower him, or suggest that you both jump over.
Offer to lower him down because I know that one progresses.
Right.
I have a feeling if we
barbarian.
accept, he'll kill us.
Who tells you he is called Throm,
Me from.
ties the rope.
Hey, From.
Get that. Stay with the Barbarian, head north, or abandon the Barbarian by jumping
It's-
over the pit.
Day, because last time we headed to the west, we died.
After tying the rope around the rock, you lower
Good.
yourself slowly to the bottom of the pit. On a stone ledge in the tunnel wall, you see 2 dusty leather-bound books. Throm grunts his contempt for the
Red leather or black leather? Or neither?
Well, we'll read both. We'll start with red, and then we'll do the black and see what happens.
As you open the
Oh, red tells you about a blood beast. Oh, how cool. Right, black book or continue?
Let's do black book.
The book pages are sealed together, but a small hole has been cut out in the middle of them, just large enough to hold a small corked bottle containing a clear liquid. You show it to Throm, who holds up his hand, indicating that he does not want you to come anywhere near him with it. His distrust of things unknown is strongly evident.
Drink the liquid, rub the liquid into your wounds, or leave the bottle.
You know what? We're drinking.
Yeah.
The liquid is a magical potion that will enable you to detect hidden traps and adds
Are you taking
2
the piss?
luck points.
Oh, trap potion. Oh, that's
I
the
wonder
memory
where
of something from.
that
Setting
hell.
off, you
So
continue
you
your
could have
journey
done
north.
that room and not
with
died.
Throm.
Okay, interesting.
The tunnel turns sharply to the right, continuing east for as far as you can see.
Where are we? I guess you can't go that way then. Doing everything we can, which means we do have to do the Trial Master again.
Throm stops and tells you
Alright, cave trolls.
You hurl yourself at your enemy.
Back.
You parry the
that's-
attack, but your
that's a
enemy is
loss.
too strong.
That's
And
a
you-
big hit.
And third attack.
You drop to the ground, sweeping away
Is a
the
win.
troll's legs.
So
It howls
eat a
as
ration,
its
me
head
as well.
hits the hard
No
rock.
worries.
You look to the left and see Throm standing over the cave troll he has slain.
Do you want to put the ring on or continue east?
What was the ring again? It was a look.
It was
Oh, was it-
stamina, but you've already got full stamina.
Yeah. Did it not do skill as well?
No, it was a test of skill, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then
Just
give you 3 stamina.
yeah, just ignore it.
Yep.
We're speed running
tunnel
this now.
leads into a damp cavern with a high ceiling and rock-strewn floor. Long and wet
Search the chamber or head straight for the archway.
Did we get anything from this apart from nearly dying? No. Head straight for the archway.
Yep.
The tunnel ends at a large oak door. Throm wastes no time in testing the handle and is somewhat surprised to find the door unlocked. He pushes it open and walks into a torch-lit chamber.
Oh, this is the.
Sitting alone,
The door.
You know
Going
what?
From an attack in the dwarf or persuade Throm
Yeah,
to go?
I want to see what happens. We'll join From in attacking.
Yep.
as you rush towards the dwarf, he pulls 2 hand darts from his belt and throws them at you and Throm, hitting both of you in the leg. You are both instantly paralyzed by the
So
poison
it's
on
just
the
a
tip
game
of the
over.
dart, losing you 2 stamina points.
Oh.
As though glued to the floor, you can only watch as the dwarf retrieves his dart from your thigh. He asks you whether you are willing to enter his contest now. You strain to nod your head.
Okay.
Slowly, the effects of the poison wear off and mobility returns.
Okay.
The dwarf beckons you to follow him, telling Throm to await his return. He opens a secret door in the chamber wall, and you follow him into a small circular room.
Would you like to guess less, equal, or more than 8?
Less.
The
7
dwarf
again.
congratulates you for guessing correctly.
Shit.
With lightning speed,
And you get the snake. Would you like to fight the anagram of no crop is or the anagram of rune moat? Did
So
you ever
what's
figure
the
out what the second one was?
No, we're in moat. Go on then, we'll fight the second one. What is the second one?
Well, you'll find out in a second.
you call out to the dwarf that you are ready to fight the Minotaur. The
Oh,
wooden
of
door
course.
rises slowly, and you see the fearsome beast, half man,
It is a
half
labyrinth
bull,
after all.
step into the arena. Steam blows from its nostrils as it works itself up into a rage, ready to attack. Suddenly it rushes forward, swinging its double-headed axe.
Really only 9 skill, I expected it to have.
Yeah.
more.
The swinging double-headed axe is a formidable
won.
weapon. And you
It won
shriek
that.
as it's...
Interesting.
You manage
It
to get
won
around
that
the
as
back
well.
That
of
one
your
as
enemy.
well.
Third.
The Minotaur leans
Oh.
forward and takes a run at you. Speed is impressive,
Another
but you
provision?
duck and roll aside, landing a heavy blow on its shield.
No, I'm
The
okay for now.
dwarf calls down from the balcony, congratulating you on your victory.
Because we get
He
two
throws the
from this,
sack
don't
down
we?
into the arena and tells you to relax and regain your strength.
To that, so eat and drink the dwarf's
Yeah.
offerings.
The food and drink are excellent, and you feel much better, gaining 2 more stamina points.
I love how like
Fully
our rations
satisfied.
give us what is it
You
for?
sit down
Yeah.
and await the
And
dwarf's return.
Excellent food. Gives
Wine
us
and
2.
cooked chickens.
After about
2.
20 minutes, the dwarf reappears on the balcony. He calls down to you, saying,
Well, I do have an interesting problem on my hands. Prepare to fight your...
Oh yeah, now we've got to fight the barbarian, don't
Yep,
we?
all and we're on equal skill, so...
You parry Throm's attack,
That's
but
He
you're
knocked
too
my
strong,
dice. That's cheating.
and you trip.
Ouch.
Go on.
Round 2.
You
is
hurl
one.
yourself at Throm, fists flailing.
And round 3.
You drop
That
to the
might
ground,
have been a 12
sweeping
there, to
away
be fair,
Throm's
if the
legs.
dice hadn't been knocked.
You hate it as he howls as his head
Same.
hits the
Yeah.
hard ground.
Still not
exhausted
got a 12
by
yet.
a long duel, you fall to your knees as you stare at Throm's still body. A bitter loathing for the dwarf fills your heart.
Walk straight into the tunnel or swing a punch at the dwarf?
We'll walk straight in. Because I have a feeling that he'll just kill us if we
The
swing a
tunnel.
punch.
Soon divides into 2.
Eventually.
You hear a buzzing
Right.
sound coming
So
from
let's
the
have a look at the
western
map.
branch.
Did we not go one way last time?
Went north,
We went north.
by the looks of it.
Right, so we'll go the other way this time.
Yeah, walk
Yeah.
west, investigate who or what is me.
Yeah, because let's do it.
There is a large panel of glass in the left-hand wall of the tunnel. Through it, you can see a bright, torch-lit room teeming with giant insects of every possible description. Bees, wasps, beetles,
Bees?
ticks. Even the mites are over 6 centimeters long. The noise is threatening. In the middle of the room, a jeweled crown lies on top of a small table. What looks like a large diamond is set in the middle of the crown.
Ooh.
Do we break the glass and try to snatch the crown?
Yeah, let's just go for it. I want the crown.
Yeah.
You smash the glass with the hilt of your sword, making a hole big enough to climb through. Immediately, the giant insects start swarming and jumping towards you. Wasting no time, you clamber into the room, grabbing one of the lit torches to defend yourself. The fire keeps most of the insects at bay, but by the
think
time
it's
you have
gonna be
snatched the
straight up
crown and
damage,
climbed
innit?
back into the corridor, some of them have stung you.
Yeah.
We'll roll 1 die and add 2 to the total to decide how many stings you have suffered,
Okay.
reducing your
Yeah, I thought
stamina
it'd be something
by
like that.
1 for each
6
sting.
stamina taken
The
now.
giant insects do not chase you,
Pretty much a half health.
preferring the bright
Alright,
light of
well,
the room they are
eat-
in. You
eat
examine the
some-
crown and
eat
see with disgust
2
that
rations?
it is merely painted
Second,
iron,
okay.
and the diamond is just glass and totally worthless.
It wasn't worth
You
it.
throw it on the ground in a rage and wonder which way to go next.
The diamond was just glass.
Oh.
So do we head west or go return
may
to
as
the
well
junction north?
We may as well just carry on west at this point. We've not gone down this way.
Ahead, in the far distance, you hear the sound of slow footsteps coming towards you. Unsure of who or what might be approaching, you look around for a place to hide. You see a large crack in the tunnel wall which lies in shadow.
Stand your ground with your sword drawn or hide in the shadows.
You know what? We'll hide in the shadows.
Not taking for a care that something might already be in the shadows, but okay.
You have to squeeze
Ah.
yourself deep into the crack to conceal yourself completely. From this cramped position, you are unable to see the owner of the feet that shuffle slowly by. A minute later, all is quiet again as you pull yourself back out into the tunnel and head west. After a short while,
We'll never
you
know what it
arrive at
was.
another junction in the tunnel with a choice of 2 directions.
Here we are here. So again, we have west or north.
Let's go west.
There must be quite a bit along here. Go west, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
The tunnel turns sharply to the right and continues north for as far as you can see.
Oh.
There is a door in the left-hand wall which is ajar, and you hear someone cry for help from the other side of it.
Do you open the door to go and help, or
You know what?
continue north?
We can be a hero. Let's do it. This is going to be a trap.
The door opens into a small room with a straw-covered floor. There is a large draped cage standing some 2 meters high in the center of the room. A cord fixed to the top of the drape runs through an iron ring in the ceiling and hangs down to the floor.
Do you want to pull the drape up, or leave the room?
Oh.
Pull the drape up, okay.
You pull the cord and watch the drape as it rises up the sides of an iron cage. The woman's voice urges you to be quick, telling you that the room is booby-trapped, so that the floor will fall away in 1 minute because of your extra weight.
Do you still want to try and help, or do you want to leave the room?
Still help.
Yeah.
The drape rises to the top of the cage, and there, to your horror, you see the face of an aged woman whose hair is a mass of seething snakes. It is the dreaded Medusa. Are you lucky enough to avoid her gaze? Recognizing
waiting
the
for 12 there,
snake-like
to be
head
honest.
of the Medusa, you close your eyes to avoid her deadly stare that would turn you to stone.
Enter her cage with your eyes closed to dispose of her with your sword, or retreat out of the room.
We gotta kill Medusa. Let's do it.
Yeah, you want to enter the cage?
Let's do
The
it.
Medusa shrieks as you enter her cage. Keeping your eyes firmly closed and slashing your sword wildly from side to side, you feel the blade sink deep into her side and hear a loud thud as she slumps heavily to the ground. You open your eyes
What? It's
again
not a fight.
and shudder at the sight of the prostrate figure of the Medusa. Her gown is fastened by a large brooch, bearing a single bright red gem. It is a garnet, and you prize it out of its setting, put it in your pocket, and leave the room
Oh,
Come
number
on.
3.
to head.
Come on!
The tunnel continues for quite a distance before you reach a junction.
Let's see, where are we now? Quite a bit away. No. So, do you want to go west into the new tunnel or continue north?
I want to go into the new tunnel.
Yeah.
We're going on an adventure.
You see that the tunnel turns a corner, beyond which it continues north. You stop before the corner, startled by the sound of high-pitched voices, whispering and sniggering.
You wish to draw your sword to look around the corner, sorry, or walk back to the junction.
We'll draw our sword.
You peep around the corner and see two small creatures running away from you. Both are dressed in baggy clothes and wear pointed floppy hats. They are mischievous
Ah, there are leprechauns.
leprechauns.
Do you wish to follow the leprechauns to perchance find their pot of gold? Or do you want to
Yes.
walk back?
Pot of gold! Pot of gold! Pot of gold!
God.
Running after the leprechauns, you hear more laughter, only now it is behind you. You look round and see 6 more emerging from a hidden door in the tunnel wall. Yet another leprechaun drops on your back from a ledge fixed to the ceiling. Shaking him off, you draw your sword, whereupon the laughing gets even louder.
Wish to attack the, what are we at, about 9 leprechauns at this point, or walk past them.
Do you want to attack him? Let's attack.
Yeah.
Before you
Kill
can take
the
a single
leprechauns.
step towards the leprechauns, one of them throws some sparkling dust at you. You're immediately
no.
frozen to the spot, unable to move a muscle.
Glitter.
You watch helplessly as the leprechauns rummage through your backpack and run off with all
No.
your possessions, leaving your backpack empty and also robbing you of 2 luck points.
You
About an hour
fuck.
later, the freezing effect of the dust wears off.
Right, we're going
and
killing
feeling
some
returns
fucking
to your
leprechauns.
You are angry at your loss and stomp off north, determined to have your revenge.
Oh yeah.
The tunnel leads north for some distance before coming to a dead end. The mouth of a chute protrudes from the tunnel's eastern wall. It seems to be the only way out. So you decide to risk it and climb into the chute. You slide gently down and emerge in a new room, landing on your back. As soon as you stand up, you are confronted by the most repulsive sight you have ever laid eyes on.
And now it's the blood monster thing in it.
Well,
Let's just go back and walk past the leprechauns, yeah?
maybe
They're
better.
in front of the tunnel continues for quite a distance.
No one
before
saw
you reach
anything.
a junction.
We unfortunately will count that as a death.
Yeah, that's
We'll
fine.
put that to 7 deaths now. So, do you want to head west, or would you like to continue north?
Well, we know leprechauns to the west, so let's go north. Little
A brown
bastards.
velvet curtain is draped over an archway in the eastern wall of the tunnel.
Go back the curtain and walk through the archway, or continue north?
Let's pull back the curtain.
You enter a cold room, divided by a deep chasm. A rope is stretched taut across the chasm to the far side, where a magnificent
Oh.
winged helmet rests on top.
Oh!
walk across the tightrope to reach the helmet, or return
I
to
want
the
it.
tunnel.
I want it.
You're shiny.
It's shiny. Give me shiny.
Testing every last drop of your skill, you step nervously onto the rope, not daring to look down. Halfway across, you start to panic and lose your footing. Walking on a rope like this requires skill. Well, test yours.
12.
As you fall, you manage to grab the rope with your hands. Slowly, you haul yourself over to the far side and scramble up onto the floor. You lift the helmet off the pole and put it on your head. It has been made by a highly skilled ironsmith and increases your skill by 1 point.
Hey.
Not wanting
back
to
to
risk
11.
walking back across the tightrope, you decide to crawl along it. Safely
Wait,
back
what?
on firm ground,
How does that work?
you step through the archway and head north up the tunnel. The tunnel continues north a long way before turning sharp right. Around the corner, you come to a dead end. Only the mouth of a wooden chute in the wall
And then we're
offers
going back
any
down.
hope of further progress.
Let's see if we've got the right gems.
You decide to take a chance and climb into the chute. You slide
It
gently
takes us
down. As soon
To
as
the
you
blood
stand
thing.
up, you are confronted by the
You
most repulsive
read
sight
the
you have
book?
ever laid eyes
Yeah,
on.
I've read the red one, yeah.
There in front of you, wallowing in a circle.
So we shall attack.
The blood beast's tail
10
whips
on
around
10.
you.
It's
You
got the
duck,
12,
but
so
not quickly
it
enough,
does beat you there.
and it punctures your arm deeply.
Back to it.
Breathing heavily
It beats
during
you
your
again.
fight, you
And
Alright, we've still got plenty of
the
rations.
creature reaches for
It
you with
beats
its
you
mouth
again.
from the pool.
I assume
You
want
step
to eat
back to
rations.
avoid it,
Yeah.
but slip on its fetid slime. It sinks its
We'll eat
teeth into
two.
your ankle, costing you precious stamina.
Yeah, that didn't
Your
count, no.
blade strikes one
No,
of
it
the
didn't,
blood
did it?
beast's real eyes with devastating effect. It slumps back into its
Alright, we'll
pool,
leave it that 'cause I'm
thrashing about in a frenzy.
Yeah, if we've got
You
the
seize the
manticore, and I've got my
opportunity
shield
and
this
run
time.
around the side of the pool to the
Well,
tunnel exit.
Get the manticore poem.
The
this
tunnel
time.
leads
Yeah.
into a large room.
Because we made
its
the joke about
ceiling
the chair coming
supported by
alive.
several marble pillars. As you
Oh
enter
yeah,
the
that's
room,
for the message.
you see a strange
Yeah.
beast to your right. You recognize the beast.
Is
You
it
raise
on
your
there?
shield in front of you
Oh, yeah.
just in time to protect
We've got the
yourself
shield
from
this
the
time.
red
This time.
spikes released from the
You've
manticore's
also got the
tail
helmet.
and aim straight at your heart. They sink into your shield, and you remain unharmed.
Nice.
Swiftly, you draw your sword and advance. on
Right,
the
and then let's
manticore.
kill the manticore. Blah blah.
Attack. Same skill.
You lunge at the creature's
Run.
stomach with your sword.
I'll get 112 for the love of Christ, game.
You seize an opportunity to attack
That
the
wins.
creature's leg. The giant
You
creature
win.
whips its
No
spiked
one
tail
wants
at
to
you,
do it.
firing more.
Not bad.
As you are wiping the manticore's blood from your sword, you are surprised to see a small man jump out from behind one of the marble pillars.
I don't
He's
think we've got
dressed
the right
in a
gems,
tight-fitting green tunic. And
Oh,
looks-
we should have the first.
The gnome
sound of it.
smiles and says, "You truly are a great adventurer. Now, you will also need..."
but... Oh,
Rot,
Sapphire.
rot.
The gnome shakes his head and says, "I'm afraid that you have failed the trial of champions. Baron Circumvit's
so
death
what's
trap
it going to
dungeon
be
will
then?
keep its secrets for another
Emerald,
year,
Sapphire,
as you will
Ruby.
not be allowed to leave here. You are appointed my servant for the rest of your
Potentially.
days
I mean,
to
you had,
prepare
what was it,
and modify
topaz
the
and
dungeon for
garnet.
future contestants.
Yeah.
Perhaps, in another life, you will succeed."
Oh,
That time went. Oh, this bit. to go
yeah.
That bit.
Interesting. I wonder...
I guess it's just trial and error to try and find other.
Yeah. Well, you know where 3 of them are now.
Yeah.
And don't piss off the leprechauns. Definitely interesting.
Yeah. It was good we found the end, but just annoying we couldn't find the. Do you want to keep going for a wee while, or?
It's up to you, mate, if you want to.
Well, I'm happy to, if you want to, maybe Sunday offline, just try and do this again and see if we can find everything.
Yeah, we can try and map it and everything.
Just so you've had another chance to play it before I reset it for when
I
kicks in
really
next
want
week.
I really want the win now.
Yeah, we can play it offline sometime over the weekend, but you managed to get 3 of the gems, you managed to get to the end.
Mm.
You didn't die as much as I thought. Although we ended up there with what, 7 deaths and I guess 2 fails, we'll call it.
Yeah.
I'll need to take a note of that somewhere and just see how the guys got on.
I think it's because I tried to put logic at first I weren't really I was just saying stuff, and then after I started putting logic behind stuff.
Well, that's the problem. You try and second guess everything, and then sometimes your logic goes out the window, and you're double confusing yourself. But oh well, I went for this last time and it was bad, so it's going to be bad this time, but it's actually good.
Mm.
And I've done it again because it's good, but oh, it's bad.
But no, it is a good game.
I do hope they bring out more of these. Like, this is the only one that they've got on Steam now, so I do hope they bring out more like this.
Yeah, definitely. I hope they bring out more.
But yes, yeah, during the weekend, some point I'll probably drag you in to see what you want to do with the rest of the stuff. Try and find the sapphire and that.
The only place I can think of was there not one place I didn't go to at the very start?
There's nothing at the start. That is where you get the first. The emerald is the first gem. That's just another start bit.
Right. Okay.
So I think right is the best option because you get the rope.
Yeah.
I guess we never really used the rope again though.
Yeah, if you got a roll for it, you must have to use it again somewhere.
Door there. There's a way there. This one
Mm.
doesn't lead to much considering the map. You had the stairs there, which might be different from the left-handed ones. You've got just one up there. That must take you into the chute as well, though.
Mm.
Judging by where that is. And we've got this bit here. That was the leprechaun way, but I don't know if you just walked by them or if...
I think if you just walk by, it's fine.
Potentially. Well, let's go and check that then now quickly before we stop.
Yeah, we may as well. Because we know all it's going to be now is trial and error until it's
before
clear.
You reach a junction.
So we head west.
Into the new tunnel.
Ahead, you see that
so draw your sword.
Yeah.
You people
leprechauns. Follow them. 6
running after the leprechauns.
You want to walk by them this time.
You push past the 2 leprechauns and head off north, the noise of jeering and laughter ringing in your ears. Further up the tunnel, you stop to rest and check your belongings. Any jewels you had are now gone.
Oh, so they
the
do
leprechauns that landed on your back stole them from your backpack. You curse the thieving leprechauns and set off north again.
Interesting. So that is just like a dead end.
The tunnel leads north for some distance.
That's just a fail route.
And that takes you down there, okay. Right, okay, well we can do the rest off stream and...
It's just going to be more likely trial and error now.
Too much for...
Yeah.
the videos and the other 4 contestants that will be attempting this.
I mean, I'm not complaining. 7 deaths, 2 fails.
But you did manage to get quite a lot of the stuff.
Yeah,
And a shiny helmet for your troubles.
I did get a shiny helmet.
But yes, thank you very much for joining me in the dungeon.
No, don't worry, man. It was fun. I honestly really enjoyed that.
I do hope they bring out another one of these so I can run like a season 2 of this. But
Oh yeah, definitely. I
think
might
I
actually get this so I can do like something similar to what you've done, but with like my D&D group,
yeah, sounds good.
and just take like and see how they play it.
Yeah, see how other people run through things and use their own logic to
Yeah.
try and figure things out and watch it all go horribly wrong.
Well, yeah, no, honestly, thank you. It's obviously really enjoyed that.
No worries. Before I do mute you in my stream, do you want to plug any channels or any platforms you're on?
Uh,
For
well,
anyone who might not know in my chat.
this feels weird to do, man. Yeah, you can catch me at Axeon2 on Twitch, Axeon21 on Twitter.
Worries? That'll be in my VOD anyway that goes on YouTube in case anyone else sees it. So feel free to follow Axeon. When do you usually stream? Quite a lot during the week, don't you?
So if I stream in the day, it's 1 p.m. GMT normally,
Oh.
but I do sometimes stream at night, which is like 7 p.m. and stuff.
Oh, Deborah's putting the shout out for you anyway, so that'll show up on the screen.
Thank you.
No worries, but yes, thank you for joining us as the first guinea pig through the dungeon, shall we say?
Guinea pig.
But yeah, I'll speak to you during the weekend about jumping in again, probably the Sunday.
Yeah, man.
And see if we can find the rest of the gems.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, thank you very much.
No worries. I'll catch you in a bit, man.
Right.
Thank you again.
No worries, catch you later.
Bye.
See ya. Alright, chat. So, we didn't reset as I did last time, and Axeon managed to get right to the end. We actually got right to the end twice, technically, because we did speed through the second time. Managed to get 3 of the 6 jewels. One of which fit in the door, the emerald. But we need to find where the sapphire is. So, like I said, during the weekend, Axeon and I will try and have a wee skip through this and see if we can find the rest of the gems. Hopefully not run into any more leprechauns that steal everything. But let me go out and see. Cosmaniac, sorry, thank you for the Prime subscription. Much appreciated. I just noticed that there. Let me see who is currently online right now that we can go and raid. Right now. Oh, that's right. Clary's on the Salt Raiders channel right now, so we shall go and raid that for the last couple of minutes because I think they're about to finish. So you can go and say hi to Clary. I think he's running the Salt Raiders channel tonight with Among Us. Yeah, much appreciated for the follows, the bits and the subs, and just for your general viewing entertainment. Yeah, I will see you guys on Saturday now for SCP. But yeah, go say hi to Clary and the rest of the guys, and I will catch you later. See ya.